1, 2.
Hey, but we didn't even come up with a name for this yet.
Uh, I think it's gonna just have to remain nameless for now.
We're not gonna be like, "Welcome to the whatever." I guess we'll record something and post like an intro for it.
I don't even think there needs to be posts. I think what's happening right now is just the natural order of things, and maybe it's a situation where
If we want to
every time we
publish it, it's gonna
record,
need a name though.
as of yet untitled Joe and Philip podcast. There it is. The as of yet untitled Joe and Philip podcast.
So then the assumption is that we're going to be recording, and then eventually, when we decide on a name, we'll upload it.
Yeah.
Because then we can go and post and record a voiceover and say, "This is the X show." Otherwise, what you people usually do is they go, "Welcome to the X show. We are your hosts, Joe and Phil, etc." That's the way the podcast usually runs.
Yeah, but that's too. I don't know. That's
too
not natural.
It's not natural. All right, I'm with it. I'm not against it. I'm not against it. I'm just saying.
Why? Let's not record in post. Who needs post?
Pretty much anyone who's ever recorded anything needs post. They even named a cereal after it. Okay, post cereal.
Post cereal. Good. It's good. I like it.
I'm bringing out all the stops for the podcast.
You're pulling them all out. Just
pulling them all out. You know, once I accidentally pulled it out, and it wasn't a good place to pull it out, and
now you're a registered sex offender.
And now I'm a registered sex offender.
Like what? No.
Well, an unregistered, but somehow it registered in someone's head.
Jeez. That was a little intense. So the moaning and yelling from female voices that you hear is actually
it's not
a video
porno.
game.
It's Soul Calibur. Since we're not recording,
Soul Calibur 6. Oh, we're not recording?
Well, no, we're recording, but we're not recording on the cams.
Oh yeah, we're not. Oh yeah, okay. Oh yes. You guys can't see what we're actually doing.
Oh, I need sticks too. So I could beat you down.
Over there. Okay, so I mean, eventually we're gonna have a video on these podcasts, and you'll see that we'll be doing a lot of sticking up video game playing. There's a lot of that going on over here. Just use my there you go. Your account's right there.
I don't know if it looks like it's low on battery though. If I can, it should be fine.
Cool. Here. This one's been charging for a while.
Yeah, I've been charging for a while.
Oh, I mean, I get it.
Oh yeah, you're playing arcade mode still.
Let me just do this little battle.
Okay, I'm going to be honest. I don't even remember how to play this game. I just remember I was pretty good at it.
But you know what? It feels exactly. It'll be like riding a bike, Phil.
You think so? Draws like a pencil.
For sure.
Draws like a pencil.
I haven't played this game in years, and I just came naturally.
I come naturally quite often. In fact, if I ever came unnaturally, I'd have to ask. Maybe I don't know. It'd probably be a conversation I have with you. Maybe I think I'd be like, "Joe, has this ever happened before?"
And I'd be like, you know what? We've had chlamydia 4 times and gonorrhea twice. I can tell you a thing about.
I can tell you a thing or two.
I can tell you a thing or two about sex.
Yeah, I once had a herpes scare in New York. That shit was fucking scary. Did I tell you about it? I told you about it.
You did tell me about it. You called me. You were shitting bricks.
I was like, Joe, I think my life is over, dude. And it caused me to go from like sleeping with whoever the fuck to like being so uninterested in just like in general sleeping around that I totally just stopped like
being sexually active.
Yeah.
Almost, right?
Yeah, like pretty much.
You still get it in every once in a while.
But really since that girl, I didn't really like I pursued one or two like thinking about it, but all I could think about was like how I didn't know where they've been.
And what's your situation current? Well, no.
Well, no, and so you know, eventually I got over it, and I but it happened because somebody else introduced me to this girl, and then I was like. Otherwise I wasn't. In fact, it came up later. She was like, "Hey, how come you didn't even try like to say hi to me? Like I thought you were gonna at least ask me for my Instagram." And I was like, without putting too much of my business out there, I was just like, or our business, or her and I was just like, I just honestly don't go around doing that anymore. But upon saying this, I also realized that I haven't had the conversation about why I stopped doing it. And we'll probably never release this episode. And so there it is.
I doubt that. Oh, it's coming out, baby.
It's okay. It actually reminds me of the time I had the threesome, and then I went to go ask my supervisor at work about it because he was like an old school rock guy, and I was like, Jeff, you've been here, right? Like, what do you do after something like that? Like today, I just feel like I've accomplished the highest goal a man could want: 2 women, 1 guy.
I mean, you're never gonna know until you get 1 or 2 fingers in the butt, Philly.
Oh God! Wait, what?
I'll tell you that right now. You haven't fulfilled the highest limits of a man until you get 1 or 2 fingers in the ass. I mean, I don't want to say that.
Oh God!
Hey,
I've heard of this legend, but I haven't.
Hey, just so you know, and it's never been clarified to you, the man's G spot is in the ass.
Okay.
You might not want to believe it. Trust me, look it up. I swear to you.
No. I've heard of this.
I swear to you.
I've heard of this. In fact, there was one. I think there was a girl in New York who tried to do this to me while we were doing it.
You should have allowed it.
And as her hand was going there, I was like, "Hey,
hey, hey."
That was the exact. That's pretty much as. I think it was the exact sound I made. I was like, "Hey."
That's pretty good.
Our night changed pretty quickly.
That
she's like, I
didn't know.
I thought
you.
And I was like, oh, you no.
No, I don't. Hey, but again, Philly, when you get to be my age, there's just some levels of satisfaction that you don't. Like bacteria, how it grows immune to certain things,
Okay.
It's like they grow an immunity or resistance to it, and it's like
you develop a tolerance.
To my age, sex is just, it can only get you so far. It can only get you like, it's like you're a finger away from
oh God,
attaining
do tell you know what though, I did take you up on the testing out the reverse cowgirl position.
Hey.
And what was cool is it worked for me and her.
Hey.
Whereas the other one it really only works for her, where it faces the other way.
It does.
Because I need the stroke action, she just needs the deep action. I need the stroke action.
Exactly. And
the reverse cowgirl does both the deep.
Both of them. Because it allows her, and then. She
did admit, however, though, she prefers the other one just because that one goes deeper than the other, the way that she moves. And I was like, are you sure?
I mean, who's to say?
Who's to say, But it was crazy.
I'm glad though. I'm glad that's a very effective move.
And this girl shall not be named, so
of course not.
I'm just gonna leave the people to imagine who it might be. This might have been 10 years ago, actually. So who knows? Might have been yesterday. Might have been 10 years ago.
It was yesterday.
Hey. Oh, I thought
yesterday of 2005.
I hope to God she doesn't listen to the podcast.
Oh, she will. This is the first episode. Everybody listens to the first episode.
And she's gonna be like, I really don't agree, and I'll be like, I totally agree with you. I should not have said that.
Okay, here's the thing though.
Without giving too many details away,
you have to be. It's a sexual awakening. It's a.
Come on, man.
Freedom.
Before you know how Killer died, you have to know who Killer was. That's a half-baked reference for anyone who's
just sexual awareness.
So okay. So how much of this is me just putting my business out there, and how much of it is discussing a healthy sexual lifestyle for an adult?
I think it's maybe 25-75.
Right. So
Like,
part of it
because you're
was my
not really
business, but I
speaking-
didn't really speak on who and
Yeah,
what. Yeah,
exactly. You haven't spoken.
Like the only person who would know what this is would be her
is the
if she
person.
listened to it. Yeah, and
So-
myself.
and yourself. You know,
So that's the
and
25%.
I guess
And maybe
myself,
you.
too.
So it's like 30.
It's like 30%.
30,
It's
70.
like 30,
30, 70.
no,
30,
you know,
70.
30, 70 is perfect.
It's fine.
But
That's like showing cleavage,
more
but without the nipples. You know,
sexual-
like
it's more the point of this is that it's more about sexual awareness.
which is right. We started with talking about like
Which
how I was
needs to be
afraid
helped.
that this girl had the what in New York and this and that.
The herpes.
Why is it herpes? Why not himpies? Shout out John
Shout out to John
Leguizamo.
Lazy. Shout out. Oh, man, I don't know. I'm gonna bump it. Okay. Latin History for Morons.
That's
coming out
That's right. I definitely want
Monday.
to see that.
November 5th.
I actually saw it in person with my with
Yes,
my cousin.
we did see it.
Here at JSO Solo.
Saw it.
Solo Dolo. We all
Solo
saw it.
Dolo.
We all saw it.
Melissa, shout out to Melissa. She's out there somewhere.
Malicious. She out there.
Malicious, suspicious. With what was her crew name?
Oh man, I don't remember.
No, her name was Lady Luck.
Oh yeah, Lady. Also Miss Blue.
Miss Blue.
Luscious Gemini. There was a few of them.
Oh, jeez.
I know. No, wait. Luscious Gemini was probably my sister. She's also a Gemini, and it sounds more like something Samantha would say.
For those of you who don't understand what's happening right now, in the Latin community, especially the let's
gangster
say
Latin community.
low income
Latin
Vato
community.
Cholos,
Yeah.
you know, certain individuals have nicknames.
They adopt nicknames
They
that
adopt nicknames that the
are slightly gang
streets-
related.
The streets bestow upon them.
like mine, I think comes twofold. It's filthy and Philly. Whereas Joe, he was solo ritmic.
Solarithmic. Call me J-So.
J-So and solo rhythm.
In
S-Ty.
the industry, they call me
Hey, wait a minute. You guys have been making fun of me for having so many names over the years, but when we look at it, you've got a lot of names too, man.
Hey, no, not as many as
Reinvention, bro.
you. Not as many as you. Wait, Silent Tempo,
Oh god.
Sane, Philip Lanos.
I'm pretty sure no one who's gonna listen to this even gives a hell how many
They
names I've
probably
had.
don't. No,
Maybe this
actually
isn't the
don't.
best like direction.
They
to
don't.
take
This
it.
isn't a fucking origin story.
You
like,
know what I mean?
We're not
Nobody-
here to fucking give them our history.
It's like, hey, Yappy, nobody gives a fuck. Hey, come on, get to the point. Huh?
Put that shit away.
Talk about the
Put
Lakers.
that shit away. Oh, let's talk about the Lakers.
I don't know anything about sports.
Okay, well then let me have a monologue about the Lakers.
That's why we should. Yeah, go for it.
No,
go
no,
for
no,
it.
okay.
That's why we should have had Body here, but because he
You know.
kind of like is in between both of us. But
He's in. He
But,
wants the best of both worlds.
he wants to start a project and also not be a part of a project.
He likes to sound ambitious and just be gung ho, and then just say like, "Hey guys, I fell asleep." I don't know.
Put
I
you
don't know
on
if this
put
is
you
what
on
you're saying.
blast, Body.
But anyway, the point, Lakers. Okay, so when they brought in LeBron James from the Cleveland Cavaliers, they had a discussion with LeBron had a discussion with the franchise, the team. And the discussion was, we're just gonna let time do its thing, and we understand that shit isn't gonna happen right away. So we're just gonna take our time and see and let the natural progression of things happen. Now, fast forward almost a month into the season, and now the Lakers are saying, "Hey, we need Luke Walton. He's the head coach of the Lakers. They're basically telling him, "Hey, we need results sooner rather than later." So what that's telling me is that the Lakers front office is backtracking on the words because now LeBron isn't performing like LeBron was supposed to be performing. A lot of people think that LeBron going to a team is automatically going to change the dynamic of the team and it's going to make them a top 10 team. It's not. It's absolutely not going to do that.
because one monkey don't stop the show.
Exactly.
Like one.
That was probably not the best analogy.
No, but wait. Oh
One
fuck.
monkey?
What the fuck? Wait. No, first of all, you're the one that interpreted it that way. Everybody knows that saying is supposed to.
Hey.
No. Fuck no. Hell no.
You're in first year, ladies and gentlemen.
No.
Hey, just let it be known that this podcast is a friend to the African American community. Absolutely.
Wait,
yo, shout out to all my guys. All my guys out there. Shout out to all of them.
You know what sucks is I said it, I realized that I could have said something better. But everybody knows that's not how I meant it.
Of course not. No.
What I meant was that no matter what an individual will never affect an entire group, but at the same time, a chain is only as strong as its weakest link.
Okay, yes. So LeBron James, for the most part, 75% of the time, can change the dynamic of the team for sure. But I've always felt that LeBron's leadership is faulting because he's the type of person to almost immediately give up on a team if he's unsatisfied with the results they're getting.
So as opposed to like having conversations with them and trying to build rapport and try to build the team spirit, if they're not operating and just following if he gets, there's leaders who are given the role and then the leaders expect the team to just know that the leader is the leader. Whereas there are leaders who earn leadership.
Yes.
And people like the Mighty Ducks movie, right? And it's like
Emilio.
Exactly.
Yes, no, but that's spot on. LeBron James is the type of leader that just expects to be the leader because of his
title.
Clout.
Mm-hmm.
Title, clout. He's LeBron James. He should be able to come into any franchise and say, boom, I'm the leader. We're going to win a championship.
And what does that mean to the Lakers, who are like all-stars in their own right?
No, not just that, but no, that's not it.
That's also not the way to go.
The fact is that the office said, we're going to bring in LeBron and, let the team build around him. And, it's going to take some time. We understand that. And we're ready to accept that. To a month later, they're like, oh, no, we need results immediately. Because they're not seeing the results. So now they're blaming Luke Walton. Which, he has a partial blame.
Because he brought LeBron in?
No, not because he didn't. Because he's the head coach and there's expectation of him. If he has a talent like LeBron James, he should be winning more games. And right now, I think they're like 4-3 or 3-4 or something like that.
Yeah, don't forget to speak. This just reminded me of something that I think would be important down the line. Mm-hmm. I think our homie Ray likes to talk about sports and he has his own podcast too. We should have him on.
Yeah, the bulletin board.
Yeah, we should have him on.
Absolutely. Okay, they won. So right now they're 3-5. 3 wins, 5 losses. That's the Lakers right now.
3-5?
Now. Yes.
5 losses?
5 losses, 3 wins.
Damn.
Which is a pretty big deal because LeBron James should be able to just step into a team and win. That's the expectation. But again, if LeBron were a better leader, maybe that would have happened.
See, this is what I say about just like the workplace environment in general. Like people talk about you have a experienced, seasoned professional executive, let's say, and he goes into she goes into a new company because, go women, right? They go into a new company, and regardless of all their experience, years and years of experience, they still have to learn the way the company operates and the way the team works. Because there are always, as long as there are humans involved, there will always be unwritten rules. That a culture that is established and that people need to be brought into. It's a culture thing. For example, let's talk about the idea of branding. We have this podcast, for example, is seeking to become an established brand, right? But now there are established brands, and we know them and we welcome them. Whether it's Coca-Cola, we get no emotional threat from Coca-Cola,
none. But
people who don't recognize your brand will receive an emotional threat from your unrecognized brand. And it's very similar to going to a party and you have all your friends around you and everything. And all of a sudden, one of your friends didn't tell you they were going to invite two people. One, 8-foot tall, super attractive model-esque man, and also another equally 8-foot tall, super voluptuous and bomb looking woman. And now the women are like, who is this bitch? And the dudes are like, who the fuck is this guy? And he's walking around with his shirt off. Like, who the fuck does he think he is? So that's the way people respond to brands. And that's the way people respond to something that's foreign to the culture. And that's, I think, what's happening with the Lakers.
Yes, there's a high percentage of people who don't want LeBron in the Lakers, and there's a high percentage of people who do because they love LeBron, but they also love the Lakers. Now, that's very common. But what I'm saying is that just because you have a superstar prime, like, and it's a perfect example because it's happening to LeBron right now. Just because you have a superstar doesn't mean that your team is automatically going to be the best. Now, this is a common argument with people being mad that Kevin Durant went to the Warriors.
I was just about to bring this up, but for some reason, they're fucking killing it.
Exactly. So don't say, and I get it.
It's also
the Lakers
Tarantula,
is still
though.
a young team. the Lakers are a young team now. They have a couple of veterans, but
it's an all new team.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't watched basketball really for the Lakers since Kobe retired.
Oh shit!
So I have no idea what's going on.
3 years, but there has been a huge change.
So it's a bunch of young players and like a couple of vets.
Yes.
That includes LeBron.
Correct.
Damn.
So that's what I get tired of, that people say because they
because look, Durant was able to successfully integrate himself into the culture and work as a team.
Exactly. He was able to integrate himself into the culture, into the team. Now, the important part of this is that he's not the leader of
that was team. Just gonna say, we're thinking the same. Okay.
He's not the leader of the team. And he's
that almost helps.
Top tier elite player.
That almost helps.
And the fact that he's not the leader of the team and he's willing to sacrifice playtime and attention for the sake of the team
only made him more attention worthy.
Yes, exactly. So there's a huge difference between LeBron James and Kevin Durant.
Is LeBron James the captain of the Lakers?
Yes.
How do you come into a team and you're just the captain all of a sudden?
Because he's a higher caliber player than the rest of the team.
Well, okay.
He's considered a higher caliber, but the same thing that I'm saying right now is just because you're considered the highest caliber, a top tier player,
shouldn't automatically mean that you should be the captain.
Doesn't automatically mean that your team is going to be successful.
Yep.
So
because it's about a team, not a player.
Exactly. And again, that's the situation that's happening right now with LeBron James and the Lakers and Kevin Durant and the Warriors.
Because
you can see the difference.
Even if you're like a dope ass player, I imagine if you got 30 people blocking you, you're not going to get anywhere. And that's why it's important to have your team like be there for you and trust you and want to like move, like stick and move for you.
Exactly.
But does he have that kind of rapport with the players, or is he like, all right, guys, listen up?
A lot of the players already admire him.
Can't hear you.
Oh. A lot of the players already admire him because of who he is, because he has such a prestigious record.
Right.
But again, just because you have that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
And it's been proven because of his season, the way his season started.
Also, if at any point in time you can't hear me anymore inside the headphones, it's because I'm not within the mic range.
Okay. Yeah, so that's happening right now to me.
It's because you're laid back with your mind on your money and your money on your mind. I'm with it. Ladies and gentlemen, I am just studying the Bible while we talk, doing nothing.
So what? Right now we're drinking some spice rum, Kirkland brand. Kirkland brand from Costco. And you know what, guys? It's pretty good. It's not bad.
I've got
go ahead,
virgin
Kirkland.
lungs.
Go ahead, Kirkland. Do your thing. Appreciate you, Philly. Are you good? Are you ready? So what's happening right now? I'm gonna adjust myself because I want to make sure I'm good. Uh, we're about to do some battles. We're playing Soul Calibur 6 on the PlayStation 4 because PlayStation 4 is the best console around.
Oh.
It's a goddamn fact. Oh,
Oh.
he pressed the wrong thing. Hold on. Okay. Here we go. Versus. So Soul Calibur, PlayStation 4, Soul Calibur 6. Now, I'm an avid gamer. A lot of people know this. A lot of my friends. I'm a gamer. I'm a cinephile.
Emphasis on the gay part.
I'm a consumer. I'm definitely a consumer. I tell this to people all the time. I am the prime consumer. I'm the guy that you want to ask what movies and music and all that shit I'm into because I can tell you and I can.
You're definitely a pop culture.
I ingest a lot of
enthusiast.
media. I love.
Was my controller on?
That was you right now.
I was moving?
Yes.
Oh. Sorry.
Okay.
Which one's the any key?
The any key.
I clearly
It's
I
in
don't
the
see myself
computer.
moving though.
Press circle. Circle.
I did. That's what I was trying to tell you.
Oh wait. Let me try this again.
I think it's because is it because it's charging?
No, it should be fine. Let's see. Hold on. Don't press anything.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Nope. That's why I keep pushing the center key to turn the controller on, but then
let me see what's going on here.
minor technical difficulties because I have no idea how to use place. I haven't really owned a gaming system since PlayStation 2. So all like the app, all the new buttons, like the share button. I don't know what the fuck is a share button? You know what I mean?
All right. That's me. Press the option button.
Okay.
No, you pressed the wrong one.
God damn.
Press X.
Okay.
Now press circle.
Okay.
There you go.
There you go. Oh, okay. Oh, we have action.
Yeah, woo.
And now we'll have adventure.
Now, these right here, Filthy, are creation. These are additional characters that I've created. Like, I have a.
Oh, wow, you made One Punch Man?
I made One Punch Man. I got Deku.
Oh, shit.
That's Deku right there. I got the Ninja Turtles. I got Guts. 2 different Guts.
From Berserk, right?
Berserk, yes. I got Naruto. I got Sasuke. And...
Dude, have you shared these with anyone? Do you think anybody else has made these yet?
I don't know.
Not in the way you did.
Probably not, but...
How come you don't share it? Everybody's all talking.
I am going to share them.
That's like an Instagram post, and then you just type in Soul Calibur.
No. But Soul Calibur has a share thing where I could share it to
with the share button. Is that what the share button is for?
No. There's a share option, so I can share all my creations with the Soul Calibur community. So I'm gonna do that.
Soul Calibur community.
Of course.
I didn't get the memo.
Yo, there are a lot of different communities.
You're like Peter Griffin. Well, we call you normies.
So yeah, go ahead and choose. Like if you look at the turtles, each one of them has their corresponding weapon.
Deku.
Oh, Deku.
That's crazy.
I'm gonna be Guts.
Siegfried, basically. That's not even fair, dude.
Nah, that's Nightmare.
It's the same.
No way.
The abilities are pretty much the same, dude.
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
Siegfried, the only relation that those two guys have is the fact that they have big swords. Their fighting styles are completely different.
But they're the same person, aren't they? Just when he transforms?
Yes, but the fighting styles change because of the possession.
Because it's not literally him. It's a possession over him.
It's a possession.
Okay. We'll see. Let's just keep in mind I don't remember how to play.
Yeah, just get comfortable.
Block, swing.
L2 is, grab. R2 is your ultimate, but you have to fill up the meter. There's a counter with R1 and L1 is square and triangle together. Ready?
Let's see.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, I guess you were ready. Oh, my guy.
Oof, 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 oof. Ooh, ooh, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oh, nice. Hey!
What the fuck was that? That was crazy.
I just beat the shit out of Philip.
So
cool.
I don't know if we're so caught up in the game. There's nobody commenting.
It's best out of 5.
But people need to comment so that this works. Otherwise, people are just like, people are just hearing what we're doing.
I know,
but they're not.
Okay, see if we had a third person here.
But why
you got a perfect?
Why'd you let me win, dude?
You got a perfect player.
Fuck.
We're fighting.
You totally let me win. I hate it when you do that, John.
Shut up.
I hate it when
you said you needed to get back in the swing of things.
How does? Oh, that's just your move. That's why. Okay, I thought it was me. That's why I was all into it. Fucking A. Ah! It's not even right.
It's cool. It's cool.
You wouldn't hit a man with glasses, would you?
Motherfucker, you don't have no motherfucking glasses, bitch.
You wouldn't hit a man with glasses, would you? Oh, okay. You got that long reach. That's why.
You do too, though.
I just can't even fucking stand up. First of all, how you be taking so much?
So,
all right.
Beat the shit out of you.
No. There was like a slip with my controller.
Slip of the controller. So,
okay.
How do you feel about the whole Trump situation right now?
Trump situation? Whoa.
Do we want to go there right now? No, maybe.
Well, I'll say immediately that I don't personally invest enough time gathering information about him to warrant an opinion. I've tried a few times, but whenever I watch a video from back in the day, it seemed like Trump has been trying to become president for years by saying, no, I couldn't be president. Only to then eventually actually becoming president. While at the same time having many relationships with people in Hollywood, right? So there's always that. People don't just suddenly dislike you the minute you become president. And if you've done favors for people, people don't necessarily all of a sudden not owe you a favor, especially in Hollywood. Right. So I'm fabricating a conspiracy, but I believe that it's no mistake that he won. I believe that there are a lot of personal interests globally that America has a vested interest in.
Of course.
And I also believe that America has allies that it probably doesn't also warrant any need to say to the people that it has those allies, because those allies technically are the allies that nobody's supposed to know is an ally. Because if anybody's in a war, having an ally somebody doesn't know about makes you the person with the advantage. Okay. And if America is good at anything, it's good at having advantages. At least so the theory holds.
I mean, yeah, we do try to stay on top of that. Absolutely, I agree with you.
According to my friends from the Lebanese community,
okay.
As far as they know, the theory that's being perpetrated in all the Armenian and Lebanese and Arabic news, any Eastern cultures, is that Russia Middle Eastern cultures, is that Russia had actually reached out to the U.S. and said that the U.S. needs to stop sending shit over to the area of Russia so that it doesn't have to retaliate with new technology that it's developed that create gravitational shockwaves that also create atmospheric shockwaves from just the thin fucking air. Like you've heard of HARP where it does like the earthquakes. This shit creates earthquakes out of the air, like in the air,
let's clarify,
like sonic forces.
Is this like a solid?
Yeah, so what happened was the U.S. was moving in on Syria through other groups when Russia told the U.S. to stay out of Syria because it has interests that it wants to take care of. And so what ended up happening then after, and especially because it's kind of closely related to the state of, I think, Israel, the state of Israel, the country of Israel. I'm not sure if it's a state or a country, to be honest with you. My ignorance shows here. But the nation of Israel or whatever it is, across the seas, right? Where it wants its own country. I forget the story is, but apparently they also have vested interest in that area, and because Syria is supposed to be part of Israel, if I'm not mistaken, it was promised to them a long time ago.
To Israel, are you sure?
Yeah, that's the theory that I was told.
Okay.
And it was the original land they were kicked out of. And and I don't know enough biblically, but anyways, let me just so point is, the Russia knew that the U.S. was involved, so then it sent a message to the U.S. and it sent some shit out to one of our ships along those borderlands where it's not supposed to be able to be within reach.
Okay.
And it just completely turned off all electricity, everything. Like it just shut, like it was inoperable.
Oh shit.
Any kind of force would, like, it was like legit on some Infinity Stone shit. And America was like, what? And so then it turned it back on, and then Russia sent a message and said, now don't make me go any further. We have more than you know, and we don't need any more problems. So that's why when I saw Trump say, Putin is a good man, blah, 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 I said to myself,
like he was succumbing to it?
Yeah. I said to myself, this just might be real. This just might be real. Yes. What am I doing? Just choosing?
It's crazy. Yeah, you're choosing.
I have no idea how to use this.
You scroll.
Right. Okay. I see what you're saying.
Then you like. You're like, oh, I like this.
And then I
choose it.
And that's it. Okay. Gotcha. But yeah, that's what I had heard. And so my opinion on it is, it's tough because what we see in America isn't always what's broadcasted to the world.
No, you're right. You're right. Because all countries have their vendettas.
And why would America show to America that America is losing? You don't think that our own country would feed us propaganda? That'd be a bad way of governing the nation. I'll tell you that much.
It would be a bad way of governing a nation?
For the government. Yes. For the people, it's the best way to have no propaganda, ideally.
Of course.
In a utopian world. But if I were the ruler of a nation, I would have to say, in order to protect my interests, there would be propaganda. And that's just Niccolo Machiavelli, the Prince 101.
Of course. I think in the overall picture, of course, whether you're a leftist or a right conservative, that your overall interest is towards the country and making sure that the country is controllable.
Yeah.
Regardless of whether you're on the left or the right. You want to make sure that your system stays intact. Your voting, your laws, your everything, you want to keep it the same because it's more profitable for you.
Yeah.
So the way we have to look at it outside of the country itself is that it's going to try to protect itself.
Protect yourself when you're having sex. So why can't I protect myself with a pistol? The streets, the beef ain't never got this wild. Do you remember that lyric?
Do I remember it? Of course I remember it. I was there. I recorded it.
Joe was part of a group called Mad Flav back in the day in 2003, like 2001, 2003, that whole era, or a little further back? 2003, 2004, was it?
Around that time, yeah.
I remember I had just moved back from Texas and shit. And I tried to make like rock bands with my friends, but that didn't really. But then I get out here, like Joe had like a legit, for back in the day when this was before MySpace, before social networks. This is before smartphones with cameras. In fact, flip phones would have been advanced for that time. So this is way back then when it was still technically the record business. On that edge, Joe had been able to successfully put together a music video. There was no DSLR cameras, mass consumable and available. It was like way back then. Even recording equipment wasn't as advanced and as easy now.
ways of men have been practiced. Subconscious, evil minds that focus on devilish principles and hostile objectives. I view the TV and all I see, drugs, murder, rape, suicide, robbery. Certain circumstances happen, situations often affect me. Like tragedy at times, caught in a maze in my ways, now I'm blind. Trying to make $1 million out of nothing, keep trying. Certain circumstances happen, situations often affect me. Life tragedy at times, poverty proceed to bring violent crimes. Caught in a maze, I blaze purple haze, trying to escape the reality of today. With problems infinite like the stars in space. With problems infinite like the stars in space. Things change, here we go on another mission. Every block, state to state, every jurisdiction, shit ain't right. Struggle hard, go with God, keep it moving in this fight. Real talk, circumstances of life. Such a shame we start to develop this one-track mind. I gotta get mine, I gotta get mine, gotta get mine. Times like a bad bitch deadly. Circumstances of life. Certain options and chance in this life makes me see the circumstances of life. Advance a hand, a gun, a knife, no more rule. These days, things change, things become more cold. And the reasons got strange, there's no peace. The trees are crooked, so you gotta keep looking. And if you mess with mine, I'm gonna pull up the shit.
Are you in touch with
Cause you shouldn't have never messed with mine. I pass seconds like the hands of time. The wrath of con, I'm always on the ground. Look at this world we associated. Try to fight for right, you just get more hated. Escalating be the mixture of power and greed. Bold garden by any means necessary. Quick when shit can't miss, it's just the way that it is. Circumstance of life, so niggas gotta change. Here we go on another mission. Every block, state to state, every jurisdiction, shit ain't right. Struggle hard, go with God, keep it moving in this fight. Real talk, circumstances of life. Such a shame we start to develop this one-track mind. I gotta get mine, I gotta get mine, gotta get mine. Times like a bad bitch dead. Circumstances of life.
Yo, they say protect yourself when you having sex. Say protect yourself in the car with a seatbelt. So why can't I protect myself with a pistol? The streets, the beef ain't never got this well. Niggas will pop your ass over your wrist, pal. A bitch will probably give you AIDS if you kiss now. Too many reasons to die. OTs
taking it back.
Little homies pop your ass for the D's in your ride. Cause they already developed that one track mind. I gotta get mine. I gotta get mine. Gotta get mine. Times like a nook to kill you. Quick to strip your ass if you don't look familiar. Sometimes it seems like evil taking over. As the dealers mix coke with the baking soda. They give us guns to shoot. Give us knives to slice. When we best thing to do is give your life.
Things change,
Here we go on another mission.
Every block, state to state, every jurisdiction, shit ain't right. Struggle hard, go with God.
You see, when I think about how people see, like, they see me when I do my thing, and they see like, oh, because I happen to do music and other people happen to do music too. I don't think I had the same upbringing as a lot of the artists who are starting out in music today. Anyways, we got cut off, right?
Yeah, we got cut off real quick.
There was a phone call.
Phone call. It was my woman.
One we couldn't really be recording that conversation. We don't have the clearance rights yet.
We don't have the clearance rights yet. Correct.
What I was saying though, I don't want to make it all one of those long speeches, but I just wanted to illustrate a point that a lot of the artists that are coming up today, in today's world, they're like, let's say a 16-year-old, hypothetically, they want to start making music. They can from their bedroom. It's never been easier to be an artist. And I was referring to the fact that you yourself, when you started, it actually wasn't this easy.
It was.
And you were still able to get a music video done, yes, among other things. And you had a recording studio.
Correct.
And so then I was coming up just after that, where all of a sudden social networks started to come into play. Like, let's take it real back, like C-Pixel.
Oh.
Techno for Us.
You're right, though.
MySpace. And then we started talking about, before Facebook was even like a thing. You were part of like Collegiate Circuit, another one, Black Planet.
I was on Black Planet. I was on Planet, Black Planet, Latino Planet.
All
any
of them.
planet. I was in all the planets.
Any planet where there was ladies, I was there. Right? So
that is not an understatement.
So I'm coming up and I watched what you did. And this is what I mean why it's so important to take into consideration who was around for who, where, what.
Okay, yeah.
Because the artists coming up today, even if they have all the technology to make it possible, then they'll come to a show and they'll see the way I perform versus the way they perform. Even if their tracks sound dope because they're in the studio, there's a difference between a studio musician and a performing musician.
Absolutely.
Big time.
Absolutely. Of course.
And I have over 14 years of performance and recording experience. because I was around you.
So that technically makes you a master.
In
Of
some
arts.
respect.
It does.
I have like a college degree in that because since I was 14 when I started high school. Yeah.
Isn't that the rule? Like,
10,000 hours. Yeah, it's 10 years. So it's like 4+, right? So after 10 years, you put in technically your 10,000 hours.
Of course.
And we were putting in 8 hours a day basically at night.
So there's no way that we're not considered masters of our craft.
Right. Well, yeah. And so there's a difference between masters of a craft and commercially successful.
Okay.
Right. And that's because also there's been a change in what's important for music. So it's not enough to just be able to make tracks. You got to have a following, right? And that's always been the case, but it really also was that if you made the tracks, you could get to the following because the control of the following was closed. It was a closed circuit. The record label had control of that. The record store and the record industry had control of distribution. And so with the social media platforms expanding the way they have, the distribution control has opened up. And yes, you have the tracks too, but now the problem is that people are spending so much time online that they aren't spending any time in the real world building a community for distribution. And without your real world community to start the distribution, it doesn't matter how much online contribution you have, unless you get lucky with a viral video.
Yeah.
And then you get distributed.
On Viber?
No, viral video.
Oh, I thought you said Viber.
No, not Viber.
Damn,
No,
Viber is
no.
like-
Well, just any social media network, right?
I thought Viber was extinct.
Yeah, I think it is extinct.
Is
But-
it?
And so the point I wanted to make is, there's a lot of artists in the community that my buddy Andrew and I started for like the music, the collabo, right? You've been there, you've been a part of it, and it moved out of a garage, whatever. And so what I'm saying is, a lot of those artists will see us versus them that's their ground for training. They don't know that I spent like 6 years with you at the Black and Brown affair got a phone call.
Oh, hold on a second. Oh shit! Hold on a second. Living real. Oh. Living real. Yo, what's up, bro?
Literally just pulled up.
You're pulled up. Okay. Hey, okay, quick. Just dial 04 on my call box. On my call box? Yeah, on my call box, just dial 04. All right, cool.
He's like, but let me get out of the car though.
Yeah.
Well, you can't bring the car upstairs.
My bad. Oh shit. I'm sorry.
Oh, Drew, that's right.
I
That's
thought
right.
you
That's
were gonna
right.
take
That's
an
right.
Uber
No,
over here.
that's right. Okay, then, yeah.
Okay, then that's the whole different thing.
So, okay, you're pulling into the garage. Okay.
I'm gonna buzz you in. Hold on. I'll do it.
All right.
Hold on.
All right.
Stay on with me.
Okay, yeah. I'll just hold it down. I'll hold it down. We got the one and only Livin Real coming in right now into the garage, so we're gonna let him in. Little does he know it, he's gonna be joining us on this podcast. It's gonna be amazing because the rule is if you're in here and it's recording, we have a sign out here that says you automatically agree to CCTV recording and you forego all your rights and your privileges and your weed. You have to donate your weed. Not that it's for me, but I'm asking for a friend. So we're letting him, he should have the middle right in coming in. So just drive straight in. He said he already knew. The third from the left. Third from the left, right? Third from the left of the wall. Well, I don't want to get everyone too lost here. They're trying to figure out which space is which. It would be easier for us just to go down there, but we're recording, man. We are recording, and it's especially, you know what? In fact, LR really ties into this a lot because LR has also been there for so many years with us. So it's one of those things. We're going to have to get him to come in and record, and so it looks like it's official. official. With the stripes and the whistles.
All right.
Okay.
Should I unlock the doors?
Yeah. Yeah, so we could just walk in. Yeah, I'm trying to, but it's one of those things where I don't want to go too far on a thread and lose them because then you guys aren't involved either. So I know you get me, but we just gotta make this.
Where you at right now?
So where we last left off is I was saying that I think it's good that LR is coming because LR has also been there to see this because he's also been part of the growth of ourselves as artists in the real world versus people who just start off online and then they find out they can't perform.
Of course.
Like lip syncing, all that. That's not something that we do. We create TV tracks, so we don't have to do the harmony and the main vocal because that's physically impossible. Although there are some people that have like three vocal cord flaps extra that allow them to create a harmony. They're like people there's some monks. Mr. Shane from high school, our music teacher, could do it. And yeah, there's a few people that their vocal cords can create two different tones at the same time. And some of them have perfected to the point where they can harmonize
themselves.
Yeah,
Harmonize themselves.
like one extra harmony. Yeah, but it's
no
like
fucking way.
I'll look it up. I can't look it up now because I don't remember the video, but it's there.
No,
because somebody showed me and I was like, what?
I don't fucking believe it.
Look, let me. Okay, how would I type this in? Vocal. Hold on. Abnormal vocal cord. Abnormal vocal cord harmony. Better not pull up Fifth Harmony. It's like based on your search results, Fifth Harmony. What? I swear to God, it's not my vocal cord dysfunction. No. As long as it's not erectile dysfunction. The effects of size and type of vocal fold polyp. Nope. Those are all like vocal cord problems. So maybe abnormal vocal cord isn't a good thing.
Maybe
vocal cord harmony. Let's just see what happens with that. Polyphonic overtone singing. That's what it is. Polyphonic overtone singing.
I gotta hear this.
Hello, I am Anna Maria and I'm an overtone singer and I'm going to tell you something about polyphonic singing today. Overtone singing is a voice technique where one person sings two notes at the same time.
I can't believe this shit either.
What the fuck?
So this was the overtone scale on one fundamental. I can also choose an overtone and move the fundamental. So I can choose a fundamental and have the overtone scale, or I choose an overtone and have the undertone scale.
That is incredibly impressive.
If I want to sing a special melody and there are melody notes that don't fit to the overtone scale from one fundamental, then I need to
boring, but it's part of our
find
lives.
another fundamental to sing this note.
So yeah, I mean I want to keep finish watching this video, but the truth is it's like a 4-minute video, and in 20 seconds or less she totally made me jizz my pants with her powers.
Like, what the fuck? That was sorcery,
dude.
That was
like
sorcery.
And we
What the
have
fuck?
the video here, you know what I mean, so we can link it back to this episode.
That's what's amazing. Wow, I am in total awe. Like, I was not expecting
You
that.
really thought I was bullshitting, huh?
No, well, you know what? No.
Ye of little faith.
No. I can't.
It's
say
just hard
that-
to believe because even when I was listening to it, like I had heard it before, and I still can't believe it.
I can't say that I thought you were bullshitting, but I think I wanted you to show me more than anything.
Oh yeah, show me.
Show me.
Like Snape from Harry Potter. Only a real Harry Potter fan would be able to get that reference.
That's true. That's true.
Speaking of which, I want to go see Beasts, man, but damn, fuck. You know, it's going to be so tight.
It's going to be lit as fuck.
I love movies
You gotta
so
watch
much. I'm outside. He's like, I'm outside.
Yo.
Come on in.
Yo.
Hey, yo, the second or third floor, brother?
Third floor, brother. 303.
Yeah, I might knock that the fucking wrong door.
You been knocking?
I'm gonna go to the car anyway. No, I knocked one time at the wrong floor.
Oh, 303, and then just open the door. It's unlocked.
I'm gonna go down and get your car. Just let me in the car.
All right.
All right, I'll see you later.
And by cartridge, he means Sega Genesis cartridge. So
Of course. What the hell do you think?
there's no other type of cartridge.
Absolutely not.
So yeah, without getting too far ahead, damn, okay, how do we get here? So I'm talking about artists, I'm talking about young artists, how it's different for the come up, and why most people are spending too much time building online and not enough inline, when really, I mean, in real life, but really they complement each other. They're extensions of each other.
Yeah.
It used to be that digital world was more of an extension of the real world than before, but now the digital world is almost equally a relevant extension to the physical, and the physical almost equally an equal extension to the digital.
Which is fucking crazy.
Because augmented reality, virtual reality, we're starting to build things in a space that we can't see, feel, or touch with our hands unless we add technology to it.
We're absolutely doing that. For sure, for sure. Because what's the next step? The next step is music videos in augmented reality.
Yeah, one band has
where
already
the
invested in that.
artist is performing right in front of you in your room.
I think it was Muse and Three Doors Down have invested in that.
Really?
Yeah, in augmented reality videos accessible only through like VR headsets and things like that.
That's crazy.
They're already out of the game, man. Well, and they're probably big record labels pushing them, or maybe the artist vision. Who knows?
It's a gamble though, because we don't know if this is going to be a situation 10 years from now, 5 years from now,
Yeah,
fucking 2 years from now.
it's really hard to say because we all want the virtual reality to be a real thing, to come in and be like full force, but we may not adopt it.
But we haven't witnessed it to what we imagine it to be.
I'm just glad we're not in a world where people are superstitious enough to believe that it's witchcraft and that it's possession.
Yo.
But there might be some kind of inquisition in the future where religious groups feel that we're getting too far gone into technology. And it may be because of religion that technology, when it advances, sees us as an inferior species because of what we believe in. Yet it's that very belief in things that aren't real that have brought us as a society to where we are today.
It's a paradox.
It's an irreconcilable paradox. Irreconcilable.
Irreconcilable.
Irrelevant.
John Leguizamo.
Irreconcilable. Mr. Lesquismo. Yeah, man. It's the snake eating its own tail, the Ouroboros.
Mm-hmm. It's nuts.
Yeah. That's where we're heading. And so how is that related to young artists and music? Like they might be putting, I know that people are sleeping on blockchain, which is the underlying technology under Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in general.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the cryptocurrencies may not take hold. They may or they may not. But the blockchain.
They've taken a huge plunge.
Oh, he's here. I'll go open it.
Come on in.
It's unlocked, I think. Is it? I just yelled. I got you.
LR.
All right, cool. I'll see what's up.
It is LR. LR is in the building. We're super chill. Why is it you're bad?
Yeah, we should just start at home. You know, just LR here, and because we rocked out, so we should record.
Why? No, this is perfect.
I don't know. I was gonna invite this chick, man, but this looks kind of weird. She might think we're trying to get a porno.
No, of course not. LR, let's welcome LR. Yeah, of course. Oh, you know what? Let's take a brief pause. Let's take a brief pause. We'll be right back in 5,
4, 3, 2, 1.
Yo,
No, you got to pull it towards you though, Vato. Because if you want to lean back, you got to pull it all the way towards
I feel
you.
like feds. Yo,
There it
go.
is. Hey,
turn my
that's
mic
good.
up.
Can you hear yourself?
I can hear myself a little bit.
You got to put. That's because you got to pull it all the way to you.
For real?
Yeah, my name.
Yo,
There it is.
yo.
It's different.
Yo, throw him
from
some more of
performing.
those so that he can
You want another
position
pillow?
better.
Yeah, maybe one more.
Okay, here we go. We're just trying to get back into the swing of things.
Trying to
do you
get
pause
back
it?
into the. No, it's recording.
No, okay. Yeah, we're recording. Okay. He's getting into the swing of
So if
things.
you can't hear yourself in your headphones, then people can't hear you. So just keep that in mind if you turn your head to the side or whatever.
because you're ignorant and shit.
I know they can hear me fucking breathing out loud and shit because I sound super fat.
Nah, dude.
All right. Are we good?
We're good. We're good.
Okay, cool.
So Philly, where were we before LR got here? Wait a minute. Let's just go into it. LR, thanks for coming out. This is amazing. This was a phenomenal. You know what?
Are we being recorded?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're recording.
Visually?
You got to pull it.
No, not
we're
yet. No,
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 It
don't
doesn't
worry
make
about that.
sense. He said,
Pull it
I
towards
can't.
you more, though. Hey,
I don't want you to catch me in any kind of
pull the mic towards you
activity that
more.
might be
Like,
questionable.
Let it.
Yo.
There you go.
Not to sound
better.
illicit, but let it. Let it hug your
Yeah, I
lips.
got you.
Let
He
it hug
said,
your lips a little
let
bit.
it hug
There you
your
go.
lips.
All right, there you
That's
go.
the
There
one
you
Why
word
we gotta
is.
do it like that though? Why can't it
Because
So-
we get the best
So
sound out of
there's
it.
something funny about when you hear yourself talk. You go, oh, okay. And then it elicits a stronger response from you to say something that matters. Or to say something that you think is funny. Or just
Right.
really speak your mind.
be? Right. So ask away.
The difference between a radio show and podcasting is really funny because radio show, it's like, welcome to the show. All that, right?
Right now,
We're-
I got a podcast.
Yeah. And we're a podcast. It's like
smoking.
people usually listen to it by themselves,
Uh-huh.
whether they're blazed out or they're on a jog or whatever. Like they're like in their zone. Or they'll
No,
listen
I
to it
do.
with people who are really close to them.
Yeah.
But they'll never invite a stranger to sit there. So podcasting by nature is an intimate medium where you talk shit and you get closer, like the voice in
Okay.
someone's head.
All right.
So we're all personalities in someone's head, basically.
All right. All right.
So it's like a head takeover that we're doing for like,
Pause.
and people listen to like 4-hour long podcasts because the podcast app will bring you right back where you left off.
I'm gonna be honest. I
Crazy.
do listen to podcasts, and I'll listen to podcasts on my ride home, on my ride to work.
Especially in LA, the commute is
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Exactly. So it's ideal for podcasts because you're sitting in traffic anyway.
Yeah.
So I fuck with it. I fuck with it. Definitely.
Do you listen to podcasts, Or?
I dabbled into a few, but I never really got interested. I mean,
Oh shit! Sorry, let me
But,
put my phone on silent.
you gotta kill that noise, bro. But you know, it's something new, and I'm with it.
With it.
Hey, you know what though? LR, he's
Yeah.
always been a revolutionary. He's been an entrepreneur
Since as
since
long as
the
you know him.
first fucking moment I met this motherfucker.
Yeah.
He's trying to sell. Do something. He's always been a career oriented.
I love how the lemonade
Entrepreneurial.
stand.
Hey, was that phone recording right there?
No,
No,
no.
No, we're not recording.
LR's like, so you guys,
we're not recording.
we set it up, and we set up the cameras, and then we were like, we're gonna record. Don't worry, those phones don't even have service.
Here
Yeah.
I'm here for the gangbang.
I can't do this. LR is retarded, bro. Oh man.
But again, so hustler mentality since day one,
Since day one.
and now he's doing incredibly well in the enterprise that he's endeavored in.
Yeah.
Is that a good?
Marketing, say that.
Yeah,
Call it
marketing.
that. Marketing and consulting.
Marketing,
I'm in imports and exports.
Livin real? At
Marketing.
Livin Real. If you want to talk about my guy, it's at Livin Real. What's
At just living real.
at just Livin Real?
Just living
JUS?
real.
TLIVINREA.
There it is. There it is.
There it is.
That's me.
But we're
Reality.
definitely honored to have him on. It's I'm glad that we're doing this because we get to be in a lax environment just the way we are.
The way these guys got to be set up, it feels like an intervention.
So
You got
LR,
you cornered. See, no, you don't have to feel like you're cornered though. You can slide over this way. I'll switch places
we
with
good.
you. I mean, and we can be comfortable. That's
Nah,
the
we good, bro.
why
That's the whole
LR?
vibe
You
of the
running from
situation.
something?
I
Nah,
hope
nah,
not.
nah.
Mine's always
'cause
running.
So what I was saying
we are
earlier,
in cahoots.
what I was saying earlier was that in today's world, young artists, like them choosing to come up, they're coming up in a time when it's easier than ever to make music versus like when I first came in back to LA from Texas when I was like 14
Yeah.
and I met Joe like after so many years of being apart, even though we're family. He was already like he had successfully made a music video and had a group and a scene before social media even existed at all, before mobile phones had cameras, before mobile phones were even popular things. There was like beepers and fucking like side like little two ways was
A
like this
long time
advanced
ago, man.
yeah.
Shit.
And Joe successfully
I'm old
came
as
up in that
fuck,
time.
bro.
He's gone on tour the whole thing, right? So then I came up just after that. And so like artists today will be good in the studio, but then they won't have performance chops. And they'll look at me and be like, why is it so easy for you? And I'm saying, well, they don't understand. I had 14 years where I was on stages, like in shows in the hood, like on 55th and Western with Melrose and Homegrown, at the Black and Brown Affair at the Sharon, because Joe was out there connected with his barber and like putting shows together and shit.
Right.
And then we had shows in the hood, just in general. And then LR was started booking shows around that time too.
Yeah, that's true.
All across, the entire east side of Los Angeles, all through that. So like I was coming up with all these influences.
Yeah.
And then these young kids today will come in and they'll be like they'll get mad that so the crowd isn't feeling them. And I'm like, what show number are you on? Like, how many times have you been on stage and you're mad that people don't think it's good yet? You think you just get up and
That's
you
true,
just,
though.
you know what I mean? Like, it takes a lot of courage to get up.
We did get to touch the stage a lot more than the average person. Do you agree?
I do agree, man. And all I got to comment on that is it does take time. Like you're right, but for the most part, it sucks because basing it in just LA, it's in general, it's hard to make it here. So
yeah, for sure.
if you're gonna go perform with artists like Talib Kweli or Wiz Khalifa headlining, I mean, I hate to say it, but majority of the people that are gonna go to support are gonna be for Wiz Khalifa or Talib Kweli. I mean, it's just true.
That leads me, not to interrupt, but
Oh,
that
yeah.
does
You
lead
fucking
me to the
interrupted.
whole. Sorry, no.
But I interrupted.
No. I'm gonna let you
I'll
keep
play,
doing.
I'll play.
I'm gonna let you keep doing your thing, but
Yeah.
I want to be able to segue into the whole Sean Healy
Oh,
promotion,
fuck.
Oh,
scene,
yeah.
which you know
Yeah,
a lot
yeah.
about it. So continue.
Okay, so we'll come back to
We'll
that.
come back to that.
Not to throw shade on Sean.
No.
no,
Hey,
no,
dude.
no.
Honestly, though,
But, yeah,
you
It's a
know
good
what I'm
scheme.
talking
It's
about.
it's a hustle. Those promoters are designed to get packed shows and sell tickets, and they also tax the artist to perform. So they already secure half the money up front
Yeah.
just by the artists. It's a no brainer. So I've done a couple Sean Healy shows with Philip, right? And,
Oh, yeah.
And I've actually headlined.
And you
one.
were always the one
Yeah.
that sold most of the tickets.
Yeah, but I headlined one too. That was pretty dope. I made it to a little status of doing that. Was it Key Club?
Key
The
Club.
bottom? Whatever?
Yep.
Yeah.
And what you were saying about like young artists, like, if they book a show with Wiz Khalifa or Talib Kweli.
The homies, they're not going for the homies. They're going because the homies there and because Wiz Khalifa's there. But it's vice versa. They're going because Wiz Khalifa's there and the homies performing.
Right.
That's what they're telling their homies. It's just
That low-key hurts.
it's true. It's truth. It's truthful though.
Yeah.
I've heard it. I've seen it. I've been in it. It's, hey, come to my show. I'm opening up for this person. Okay, like, cool. Like, it's not like a lose situation. I mean, yes, I'm there to support, but it drags them out. It's an attention grabber, and it's cool for the artist to their advantage, but it's just set up for the artist to lose. Because the attention's not truly on them.
And
they
that's
have a-
why services like Sean Healy.
And that's what
they
I'm
got an
talking
8
about.
to
is Sean
10 to
Healy's
12, 15 minute
situation.
set, and then they're gone.
Yeah.
And they have like fucking 35 artists performing before Wiz Khalifa,
Yeah.
Chances are people don't show up till about 11, 12 anyways. They don't show up at 9 p.m. when I'm performing or whatever. They're always showing up late because of the headliner. So
That's probably one of the biggest disappointments
Yep.
that I have when we were doing what we were doing.
Yeah.
Which is probably one of the biggest mistakes we made is using a service like Sean Healy and expecting something to come of it.
and you know what though? It was cool to get the experience of using the service. I'm not gonna throw shade like I said on Sean. It's just that we should have just been focusing on ourselves as us being the main person,
Okay.
dragging people to making our own shows. You know, setting up that whole environment on our own.
Which I can also agree with.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Because if you control the show, you control the money, you control the time slots, you control the artists. So if you wanted to go hire somebody like Wiz to perform at your show, you could headline over him. You could have him underline. Technically, you could put yourself as a co-headliner, and you still have a good status at the show.
It would be a better business decision to do that. Yeah.
Definitely. And if you're gonna spend, I don't know what it is, $600 to $800 or $1,200 to go perform at somebody else's show, why don't you put that money into promotions or something else that's going to benefit you as an artist or you as a group, rather than putting money in somebody else's pocket that's already secured.
And both of what you guys are saying, it stands on the feet of having people who want to hear your music at all.
Yeah.
Right. So when I talk about the young artists, when they're upset that people don't like their show because they go up to the stage finally and people are like, they don't respond. Number one, have you learned how to read a crowd?
It's hard. It's fucking hard.
You got to learn how to read a crowd.
Initially it's hard. Remember, the first time
You know how to
probably
read a
rocked
crowd
the
now.
stage, you probably didn't rock them that well.
I probably could tell you that I do not know how to confidently read a crowd, but I know that I could rock a crowd.
But even in that in and of itself is just says that you're able to potentially read a crowd, because you can say most of the time you can read them.
Yeah, I think that comes with experience, though.
Yeah,
too.
Absolutely.
of course.
And that's what I'm saying.
That's what he's saying.
Mm-hmm. You have to have a good hype man, good DJ. It's not just you as an artist.
The whole
you
environment.
have to have a team.
Yep.
Because your DJ is going to be spinning some popular cuts.
And that's what I'm
And
saying.
he's going to get everybody hyphy. And then your hype man is going to get up there. And then maybe a model or something's going to get up there and help the crowd. And then you're going to get up there and just bring up the intensity. But on another note, shouldn't be giving out fucking free game like this. But if you're going to go do a show such as, let's say, Sean Healy, or such as somebody with a big name that's headlining, if you have an opportunity to reach out to them, or you know somebody that's in their camp, or maybe you even know the artist, go to the artist and say, hey, 50 Cent, I'm a fan of yours. I'm an upcoming artist. I would like to offer you some money. Throw me on your set. Give me a little 10-minute set. They get like an hour and a half anyways.
Right.
You're going to look like you're a part of them. People are going to take you more serious because you're a part of 50 Cent's crew or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to get that promo, that you're going to get that status from the get-go, And you could do that. It's not a problem. It's just a way of going outside of the promoter and just doing you.
Would you say you would have been able to do that 10 years ago?
No, but I could say I could do that now, not with 50 Cent, but with certain artists.
Right. No,
Oh, and financially, I mean, you got to invest your stuff.
No, but also, do you think it's because of the market? Because now, as far as social media is concerned, it's added, or it's taken away a lot of the luster from a lot of artists, to where they have no choice but to kind of bring people on sometimes.
And consider that as a viable way to continue making a living. As an established artist, does it make sense now more than ever to be like, yeah, sure, kid, hop on the set because it's money, as opposed to back then when the record industry still controlled a lot of things?
Okay, I got you. Yeah. So you're saying, are you asking me if it's easier now, or if it's
so would you have done that then? Do you think you could have accomplished it, and then would you have done that then?
If I could have accomplished it sooner, I would have, definitely. I would have made a way to
But
work.
do you think it was possible to do it?
Certain artists, yeah, because I mean, certain artists
Always certain artists.
go there, their managers. Who's not going to take cash in their pocket? You know what I mean?
Okay, so you're saying that a lot of these guys are still have the same formula to making.
That's
more
one of the
money.
many
That's
formulas
one
of
the-
making a living
yeah.
as an artist and getting established as an artist.
That's a cheat code, if you may.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
I'll fuck with
it's a
that.
hack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's just the same way as if I'm busting out a mixtape or an album, and I go reach out to get a singer or a feature to jump on my record, that's probably not going to do as well, for example, as if I pay that artist to hop on their record, their album, to promote it and use that on my album as well in turns. Say, hey, Trey Songz featured me on the record. Like, that speaks volumes on that side.
Yeah.
Maybe not as much as this side. If I put the record out, you've seen people on MySpace who had Snoop Dogg features, who had the Game features, and yeah, they had like 20, 30,000 views, but they're not. It's not comparable to what Snoop Dogg or Game would get featuring somebody else.
Right.
So
Who's of status?
exactly. So it's just
It comes
a
back to
wiser
people.
way. It's a wiser way of promoting yourself and making your money work for you. But at that time, we didn't know about royalties and
that's what we're
publishing.
saying.
Yeah, we just knew about I'm gonna pay for this. It's gonna happen, but the artist is not liable. They could just take the money because there's no contract.
And what we're saying is that it's easier now than it was back then to do something like that. To
In what sense,
accomplish
though?
something like that.
For us or for other people?
Yeah, for us.
For young artists
For
who
us,
don't have
because we
For
experience.
young artists at the time.
For us, because we know better that we should be doing paperwork. And,
Now we do.
but
Now we do.
No, I mean, it's easy to get got. I've gotten got by a couple of artists that I paid for a feature. Hey, man, will you throw this on your Twitter? Would you retweet? Would you Instagram this for me? Promote this? Blah, blah, blah. And they were never obligated because there was no paperwork.
They would
It was
say
just
yeah, and then
cash.
just not.
They would just say, yeah, pay me, motherfucker. I'm going to drop the verse. I'm going to drop the hook, whatever. And that's it. Never hear from them again.
And it's one of those awkward things where like most of the things that happen in the music industry by nature want to be handshakes. Like, all right, cool, I got you.
I mean, there's some cool people out there. Don't get me wrong. But there are people that really know their business and know what they could get away with. And the less they could do for the more money, for the more amount of money, they'll do it because, there's stipulations on contracts that if somebody goes performs at, let's say, San Bernardino Cannabis Cup, and they don't have at least, let's say, 100 people in the crowd, they're not obligated to perform, but they are going to get paid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They could
that's
leave.
true.
You know what I mean? So there's a lot of crooked shit on behind the scenes, but there are
good
some
people.
genuine artists that
There
really
are.
like to perform and they will do it no matter what, but everybody's on a time schedule. Sometimes the manager's rushing them or they don't want to be there. They want to go to the studio. They want to go to the strip club. They just want the money. Some people.
Yeah.
They say what you talk about reveals a lot about yourself. I'm kidding. No. What I did want to say though is to your point is that like I know some artists that are finally established now in today's music scene, and a lot of them with their managers and their teams only have a handshake. They don't have any contract. And it's like you said, there are some good people.
Wow, bro.
I know, and like successful. Like
Somebody's
they're
getting fucked.
like they're like artists that we listen to regularly, and a lot of their shit is just a handshake.
I mean, somebody's getting fucked somewhere. That's all I got to say.
Or somebody really just did somebody a favor and then moved on.
But there's
Yeah.
no true favors it's a business. You know what I mean? There's no true favors. Like somebody's getting paid at the end of the day for a record.
Someone will get paid.
Someone's taking that money. So
if it hasn't happened yet, it will happen for sure.
it's
That's
all
true.
right. Somebody's taking credit for that.
Yeah, or at least credit.
So
Yeah.
if it's a hot record, nobody's gonna want to just let it sit.
That's true. Well, I'm talking in terms of more of like managers. Like, do you think managers have a right to dip into like royalties if they like they get paid for managing you, but they don't get
Right.
paid for your royalties? You know what I mean?
I mean, I think to
So
a
like
certain-
shows and shit like
a
that.
certain
makes sense.
extent, they're
But publishing is
entitled.
artists.
Maybe if they helped, I mean, on the records or
That's true.
creativity,
Producer credit
Why?
and shit like that. Yeah.
But
Creative
who,
wise?
but
Yeah.
who decides that?
truly
Whether they helped or not.
So it's hard. It's like a mind fuck because if you're in the studio with your manager and let's say a couple other artists, producers,
Right.
Are
Technically,
they all entitled to
yeah.
your same cut?
no,
not
nobody's
equal cuts,
nobody's
but they are
to the same
entitled
cut.
to being
But
contributed
for
to.
being there. Yeah, it's a contribution.
But who decides that percentage?
It has to be agreed upon by the group or a lawyer.
That's what gets
And
fucked
and
up.
and if your contract has a clause that has key member law, like a key member clause, and it's just you, the main artist, or some of your key members, you decide who.
Mhm.
Those people will always overvote whoever the majority is.
I mean, you could technically get away with a lot of stuff by paying people up front for like work for hire, and then be like, you don't get any technical royalties on this, so you kind of eliminate the people that come in
Yeah,
and play
but
bass or something like that.
I'm
you know?
sure there are situations where people who weren't anyone yet
Right.
made those type of agreements, and then they all of a sudden came to be,
Somebody.
and now they have to be bound to those agreements.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's a way to find a way to get around those
Agreements?
initial agreements.
Yeah, the way to
wouldn't there
get
be?
around it is people like you've always heard of, like people like Dr. Dre bringing in people in the studio, such as I think Excel, right?
Okay.
And they don't get the producer credits, but they get paid to be there, and it's a
Mhm.
work for hire, and say, hey, good job, homie. Here's your money.
I worked with
Leave-
such and such.
Leave this product, leave your project right there, and we'll call you when we need something else. And here's, I don't know, $2,000. Like, who's not gonna take it if they need it?
Yeah,
You
one
know?
of my homies that happened to him. He was making beats for Rick Ross.
There you go.
And Lil Wayne.
It's a no brainer if you could cash them out.
Yeah.
It's better for you in the long run because how do you know that producer is going to put in as much promotion work the same as you? You know, if that song comes out, how do you know they're not going to just sit back and say, hey, I got this record, out, you know, for example, or they just want to collect royalties, they want to collect percentages, it's better to pay somebody off or pay them down to the minimum.
Right.
So here's $2,000. Initially, we're gonna do, I don't know, 60%. You're gonna keep the rights, but here's $2,000. We're gonna bring you down to 15%, for example.
Mm-hmm.
It works out better in the long run for everybody.
And young artists could really appreciate the stuff that we're talking about. And to bring it back to how this all originally started, is that I was saying that fundamentally this all revolves around people and your ability to know who they are and your ability to have them want to be a part of your experience. So when a young artist gets mad that they're not hot shit on stage, or their tracks aren't that good yet, it's like they get upset, but it takes a lot of work to be able to develop a community that wants to come to your shows. You know that, in fact, even just in your entourage. It's ironic that most people, we read books or we'll watch movies and we see that everybody plays a key role, but then you'll see in crews where everybody wants to be the fucking star. You know what I mean? And that's why a lot of shit doesn't end up popping off, because people can't just come to it, want to have a conversation about, look, man, we all got talent. Yes, we all whatever. We all have the potential to be the one. Yeah. And everybody could get put on. Which of us would likely right now be the one most likely to be put on, so then the rest of us can be put on?
Egos fuck that up.
Everybody's gonna point the finger at
For
themselves.
Sure.
Exactly. Exactly.
Egos fuck that up every single time.
And that's what young artists need to know.
And I can tell you from experience.
That's why you have to have a manager or producer that's gonna say, hey, we're gonna run with this guy for now because he's hot for the first 6 months, and then we're gonna put money into this guy, but we're gonna feature this guy on this guy's album.
I can tell you from experience that's where I fucked up.
Yeah.
That's absolutely where we fucked up.
That's why I've always remained, per se, solo, because I'm not competing with anybody but myself.
I respect that for sure.
I know what I'm putting out at the end of the day, and I'm confident in that. And there's people that want to do what I do, but I just keep moving, you know?
This dude's writing raps right now.
That's where I was about to head. Is there something you want to plug?
What's up, man?
Is there something you want to plug here?
Any projects you got coming up that you want people to know about?
Come on, my guy.
Yeah, we could probably play some stuff.
Hey.
Play a little bit.
Do you have it on a USB drive so I can plug it up?
No.
Otherwise, well, at the very least, name drop it. Tell people what they could expect.
Well, shit. It's, you guys know I just graduated from music school, so
of course, yeah.
I took a whole reevaluation to my the step in music. You know how I came coming
Art
back.
School.
Yeah, I wanted to be educated on it. So I feel like a complete artist. So everything I've been doing this year, whether it's purchasing beats or getting people to write with me or write for me or just write on my own. I'm developing a super project, I guess you would say, of nothing but of singles. So that's what I want to do for 2019. I want to drop singles and videos.
You know what I love about you? That you've never stopped having the ambition to create something greater for the original goal you've had.
Well, shit, man, I'm not gonna lie to you. There was last few years where I was just out of it, not motivated, out of shape.
Okay, I fuck with that.
Broke, straight up,
I fuck with that.
And it takes money, and it takes everything. It takes a combination of things to make this happen. It doesn't just happen overnight. I used to be more motivated to write because I was never really thinking about the money. I was thinking about, I want to do this dope shit. But then when I saw how much it really costs and what the industry was really about, I was like, damn, I can't technically do this on myself, or if I do, I have to stack up and do it myself. Okay. So I was out of it for 3 years or 4 years. I mean, not recording, not really doing shit. I had a studio, but I wasn't really using it how I should have. I was always trying to dabble into it. So where I'm getting at now is, even now I'm hustling and doing my thing, but I truly feel I think I told Philip recently, I have to fall in love with music again. Even though I am in love with music, I have to get that brand new ambition, that when you get that girlfriend, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're
I know exactly what you're saying right now.
Philly's on there right now.
I got a shorty in my life right now.
There you go. Yeah, it's all exciting in the beginning, right? You're doing dope shit. You're fucking everywhere,
yeah, man.
But it gets old. It does. I mean, everything in life, it kind of does. And I want to keep it fresh.
There's only so many pages in the Kama Sutra.
That's not a lie. That's not a lie.
True that. So right now, I mean, yeah, I feel excited because I do feel like a complete artist now and a complete producer. Now that I could actually go with the best foot forward to do what I do, to use my voice the way I need to use my creativity the right way in a sense, musically.
Right. So you'll be working on a project.
So I'm working on singles right now to do videos, to do promo behind them, to put myself on shows and tours. Pretty much.
Here's the dope thing that I've witnessed, that I've seen come to fruition, is that for artists, you don't have to release an album anymore.
That's true.
At least if it's your initial album, your first project, whatever the project may be,
Yep.
you're not obligated to release a full LP.
Yeah.
That's gone. The time
True
of that
that.
is gone. You can have
Singles.
2-3 singles. You can do an EP
Yeah.
and safely call that your project.
Yeah.
And the population will eat that shit up.
That's very true.
They will.
The one you could credit to right now, and I mean, I hate to say it, but
Scorpion.
it's Tekashi.
Or Tekashi.
He's
nothing but
11
singles?
for 11
Yeah.
right now.
Well-
And his shit sounds different. All 11 records sound different, which is dope, because I was expecting the same Onyx type of approach, him yelling on every record. But no, I mean, the kid is doing it right,
Yeah.
However, I don't see him going for 20 for 20.
No,
Swingles,
for sure.
single after single after single after single.
I think that's all hype because of the way he carries himself and everything. He keeps himself relevant. Like, he trolls like 50, and that's a part of his character.
Weren't people saying that he's like 50's bastard son? Like, I heard.
Well,
I don't know much.
He's a troll, bro. I mean, at the end of the day, he's somebody that keeps himself relevant by trying to be a bully, which is
That's the way 50 Cent came up.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way 50 Cent's doing now too. He's tagging along with it, per se. He's reaching out to random artists and just making fun of them or causing controversy. He's like a villain. Same thing with Tekashi. They're like they're like the bad guys of hip hop.
Yeah, man.
They're portraying something that they're not, but it's keeping them relevant because people are interested in controversy all the time. Rap beef, who's talking shit about who's fucking who's
Like
baby
the whole
mama.
Eminem and what's his name?
Yeah, I mean, it's all
MGK
for
thing.
it's all for promo though.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Eminem's in on it. Yeah.
I'm very sure, but
For sure.
I heard about Tekashi through my friend when I was living in New York. Like, he plays this shit. He's like, "Oh, dude, have you heard that new 6ix9ine? This that." I was like, "Who was that?" He's like, "You haven't heard it?" And he plays it. And when he shows me the video, and there was two things I noticed. First of all, I noticed that I wasn't a fan, but I was like, okay, everybody else seems to know about him, and maybe because he started in New York, you know what I mean?
yeah. he's
But then the other was that his whole squad was in his music video. It was just a bunch of goons. But
that's New York style though.
if you think about it,
Yeah, you look at
you
fucking
have
Dipset.
people.
You
Yeah.
look at Dipset. You look at fucking Rockefeller. You look at fucking Desert Storm.
Yes, sir.
That
It's
is
always been the
fucking
squads.
camp.
That's what
That
I'm
is
trying
the
to
fucking
say.
East Coast
Yeah.
vibe.
That's
You
what I'm
have
saying.
to have a goon squad. You
Yeah.
you absolutely have to have a goon squad.
You have to.
Yeah, you're not going to be anyone if you don't have
Without a community, you
don't have
cannot
someone
be a
like
pillar.
Dipset. You don't have someone like Desert
The
Storm.
original
You don't
one is
have
Rough Riders, right? DMX.
Rough Riders.
Gang
no,
niggas in
I
the
don't.
video.
No, they're not the original. Let's not.
Well,
get-
say the
get it
biggest
twisted.
one at the time. No, Am I
No,
wrong?
Who's the
because
original?
Rockefeller was still fucking
Rockefeller?
fire.
Rockefeller.
Bad Boy. You have
Bad boy. Oh, take that.
No, dude. On the West Coast, you
Yeah.
have fucking.
You talking
You
about
had Death
NWA?
Row. No, you had Death Row.
Did
You had
you have a million
NWA.
motherfuckers
Yeah,
in the video though?
You had NWA. You had Death Row. You
Yeah.
had
Look at the Regulators music video.
Hieroglyphics in the
Yeah.
Bay.
Yeah, that's
You had
true.
hieroglyphics in the Bay. Now,
That's
if
true,
anybody's
hieroglyphics.
gonna say anything,
Yeah,
I would say hieroglyphics is
Was the
For the
original?
West
original?
Coast.
regarding the West Coast.
Yeah.
I mean, because there's Dog Pound. There's.
But I'm
fucking
saying, did they have a
Death
million
Row,
dudes
there's-
in the fucking video rocking out with them? Like, you would see a typical DMX video, and you would see like fucking 300 Rough Riders in the back compared to
300 dudes calling themselves Rough Riders. It just wouldn't work today. it just wouldn't work today.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It just wouldn't work.
Something.
300 dudes calling themselves Rough Riders. It wouldn't work today,
Well, you
but
know
it
what?
did
I
back
should
then.
use it.
to his advantage right now. But like I said, compared to DMX back in the day in the music videos, you had like 300 Rough
What I'm
Riders in
saying
the
is,
back.
yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
DMX did not have the trademark on the
Yeah, that trademark.
no, yeah, he's not that, but no,
What?
he wasn't the guy that brought a million dudes out.
Who was it then?
It was Khalees. She brought all the boys to the yard.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
But no, even that, I would honestly say it was probably Jay-Z
Jay-Z.
I never seen a shit like that.
that brought 1,000 dudes out. Of course.
Okay, well, that's New York shit though. I
When he
think.
brought Rock La Familia, when he brought the whole Rockefeller
But in the
squad.
videos and all that.
Yes.
Because Dipset, you
Big
said,
Pimpin'.
Okay,
You remember Big Pimpin'?
I have to see it again.
That whole video
I know
is
it.
just set on the video. The whole video. You got the
Yeah.
whole click.
Yeah, I'm listening.
That's what I'm saying.
So I mean, okay, yeah. So it's all about community is the point we're trying to make. It's all about community
Yes.
and having communities and about putting your ego aside and choosing one person to be the pillar, to be the face. Like look, in fact, there's a book written by Simon Sinek out there talking about leaders eat last that sort of illustrates this point where
I
it's
can stand behind that.
yeah,
for sure.
where it's like it's the reason why the leaders get the best girl, why they get all the fresh pickings of the foods. The point that Simon Sinek tries to illustrate is the reason why the leaders are treated that way is so that when it's time for a leader to actually play the leader role, when a challenging tribe comes their way, the leader's got to step up, and the leader's got to be the one to be like,
Mimosa.
the leader's got to be like, no, yeah. So when a challenging tribe stops by, all that good treatment for the leader's fresh, he's relaxed, he's got the best, he can go out there and be the champion for the squad.
Yes, sir.
Which is expected.
He's got
That's-
an equal role.
Yeah.
It's a servant leader.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And yet that's something that most people today won't do, and that's why their careers never take off.
Yeah, it takes a true squad but for the most part, it takes a team in the studio to really get you going. You know, everything else you could. I mean, it's really easy to get a gang of motherfuckers together. Hey, I'm doing a party. I'm giving out free food. I'm giving out free prizes, free money, whatever. I mean, you can get a gang of people out with you. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So there's just different ways. I mean, the traditional way is having somebody casting for you and getting people out there and organizing an event at a club or a block or getting the permits to block off a block or whatever. But
Did you say blocka?
blocka.
Blocka. Oh,
Or
What
Waka
is this?
Flocka, the homie.
I'm gonna get a drink real quick.
Cool.
a drink. All right, one sec.
I'm good right here. Bro. You taking a break? Oh, okay. What y'all snacking on?
Oh, that's right. That's right. We I think Joe actually got you some food.
For real? Oh shit.
You get down on shawarma? Shawarma. It's like a chicken wrap.
Oh yeah.
And
yes. Hell
and
yeah. Falafel
there's
buns
some
or what?
potatoes there. Yeah. We have some hot sauce, I think, if you want to throw some hot sauce on it.
For sure. I got some snacks.
He said, I got some snacks. But okay, so the whole point of everything we've been saying lately has been young artists face a different world than we face today, and yet some of the principles still stand.
Yeah.
You have to have a community, you have to have a good team behind you, and a good leader who are both understanding each other's roles.
Yes.
And having a good product, because good marketing will only help a bad product fail faster.
Good marketing will have a bad product. I think there's some garbage out there that good marketing has just helped in general. That there's like stupid songs out there that just grow on you because the hook's catchy and the rapper sucks, and it just had good promo, and the hook is what carries it. You know what I mean? There's a gang of artists out there that just are lucky like that, I guess you say.
And you know what's funny is I brought this up on numerous occasions. A lot of people don't know that some of their favorite artists, most of their songs, if not all of them, have been written by other people besides the artist. Most people just go around thinking that the artists themselves write the songs. You know, and then you'll come across someone like Drake, who, you know, in all respects, Drake. I'm not throwing shade. I'm saying what I'm trying to make a point is that Drake has talent. He's a great performer and everything, and I'm sure he could write his own stuff, but he doesn't.
Right.
He's got 80 songwriters for that one album. I forget which one it was.
Which one? Album or
Yeah, it was an album. It was the one after
I ain't knocking it. The dude's busy, bro. He's on tour all year. When does he have a time to
sit there and write
write
tracks?
albums?
You know what I mean?
Nobody could possibly do it.
Being on tour, doing all these things. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, the labels will pass you a catalog and say, hey, we want you to find a song like this, or check it through it and, you know, find something, right? And see what you like. And then they'll knock it out like in a tour bus or in a studio on the road. And if it works, it works. If not, they keep running it straight up, you know?
And that brings me to a point. I wanted to put. So I went to go watch the movie Bohemian Rhapsody yesterday.
How was it?
It was dope.
Did you?
It was dope.
Where'd you see it at?
I saw it in a theater across the street from where I stay at in Highland Park.
Oh, nice.
And-
On a date or by yourself?
Yeah, I went on a date. Yeah.
Nice.
And so what happened was two things. In the beginning, I saw the Masonic ring right in the front, and I was like, right in the beginning of the movie. If you're not looking for it, you miss it.
What kind of podcast this is, bro?
I was like, oh shit. But that's besides the point. The second thing that I noticed at the end of the movie, they put like a title with just a black screen and white text, and it said, "This movie made 164,000 jobs and countless hours of production work available." Yeah. And I said to myself, that's the shit we need to see more of. People don't understand. Like an artist, like you said, thank you. An artist, how many people look, Drake? You love that we consume that? People can't hear you, so I gotta.
Yeah.
You should just get over here. You love that I know that I noticed it, that I consume it in that manner.
Get
because
over here.
You love that I noticed those things about the movie and the movie industry and the film industry and the entertainment industry.
I love that you consume that.
You're the consumer.
Okay, I love that you consume that. I love that you notice that, because that has been part of the motion picture industry for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Sort of a
so
unification.
The fact that you finally noticed it means that you finally watched enough movies to notice that.
Yeah.
If you're
that's
a
true.
consumer, like I'm a consumer, you would have noticed that.
Oh yeah, I don't
right
watch enough
away.
TV or movies to know
Exactly.
that shit. So I was like, oh shit, they finally
so it
respect
took you
them.
5 years
Took me
to
5
notice
years,
that
yeah.
shit. that
I've been
it's on
busy
there.
reading books and shit.
Yeah, no. But that means that there's a plethora of other people who consume, like I consume, that have seen that.
Yeah.
So for you, who doesn't watch any media really, to notice that on the first
Time I see the movie.
time you watch it, it says volumes. Because you don't consume it as much as I do, or maybe as LR does. Because I'm sure you've seen that, right?
There's like a high, a medium, and a low. Like, you know, because I don't really watch everything. I'm like,
No, but I'm saying
in and
you've
out.
noticed that before, right?
What?
That message that such and such many people were hired for this.
I
It's in the
truthfully
credits.
Never noticed that ever.
Really?
Ever. No.
Shit. Fuck.
And
Hey, I'm still commending you
Yeah,
for
yeah.
seeing it, because I know as an avid consumer of media.
What is that for exactly? To show off? Like, hey, we're good
No,
people.
it's
No,
saying
no,
that,
no.
Look, this production was able to fucking
Jobs.
hire
Jobs.
these
Great
many
jobs,
thousand
right?
people.
let's bring it a higher
Yeah.
level, right? Let's just bring it like
But
let's
what are
zoom
they?
out.
What are they aiming for? Respect? They're aiming for.
No, so yeah.
No.
So allow me to elaborate, right?
Yeah.
So we have presidential rhetoric like talking about we're
Yeah.
gonna go and open up coal to bring up more jobs to our nation because it's
Sounds just like it,
terrible,
bro. It's
right?
terrible.
So that's what he's saying,
Fake
right?
news.
So coal. But
Coal.
yet, what we could do instead is take entertainment industry jobs out there and educate and train them to be part of the industry. Because what we're trying to say is, look, it's not just the actor. If you look at the credits list, that's how many people were employed by one project. Do you see how many fucking names there are in a credits reel
That's
for movies?
Maybe like a couple hundred.
What's really
Guessing?
creating the
1,000,
jobs
bro.
out here?
Or
Entertainment.
there's 1,000. Oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
Entertainment.
I feel that people are trying to show that they're making a difference in the world, but I don't feel like movie people are in fact hiring local, people in the streets to go work for them. They're just hiring people and showing, hey, we're creating jobs, but we're doing good, but buy our shit anyways. Like, that's what the ultimate message is, right? They just want to sell, and like basically,
Who hit you as a kid, man?
Okay, no.
I'm playing.
No, this one is a tough one.
Because you're right.
In one way, you are right.
One way.
He said, I
saying
like to
that-
know what way I'm not right.
I'll tell you, the studios as a whole probably don't give a fuck about the actor or the consumer. The everyday actor, the everyday consumer, they probably don't give a fuck about him.
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't. But they still have to make or present themselves as if they do. And there are a lot of times when they do that. When they are conscious of cultural changes in
When
the market.
producers in the industry are conscious of cultural changes.
I will tell
Yeah.
you. I will tell you something that I just got educated on yesterday.
Okay,
That you may know about
I'm
this,
listening.
but
I'm listening.
2 things were brought to my attention that I think are really dope. 3 things actually, all related. My buddy was talking to me last night about the Jewish community and how when you spend money, you're supposed to spend at least I think 8 to 10 times in the same community before that money leaves the Jewish community to strengthen the community. Going on to what I think P. Diddy is pushing right now, Black excellence, which is invested into Black businesses and making Black people stronger in the community, or you say the country. I think that all is in play right now, of course, because of our politics, our president. Everybody's kind of we're uniting in a sense, you know what I mean? But one thing that I do want to bring up for Latinos, our culture is there is nothing like that. Everybody hates on each other. We're all like crabs in a bucket. And
That's
it
true.
Sucks
That's fair. That's
because
true.
even
It's
in
hard to hear,
business-
but it's true.
it's fucking true. In
Even if there are
business-
supports
Yeah.
emotionally, it's very rare that you'll see a Latino specifically go, no, I'm going to shop at a Latino setting.
Exactly.
And I would even argue, just to add to your stuff,
Yeah.
we could even bring young Latinos
Yeah.
to support young Latino businesses.
It won't happen. It won't happen.
With and people will argue and say, but why does it have to focus on Latinos,
Well,
right? And it's like,
I mean, it's everybody else is doing it for themselves, and we're not doing it for ourselves.
so
We're
the
not-
argument could be that because one of the communities that is least gotten involved in that direction, being the young Latino community,
Uh-huh.
they may want to consider it.
The whole Latino community, because us as Hispanics have a lot of pride naturally.
Yeah.
And
That's true.
we want to be the best at what we do, which there's no problem at
I'm
all
the
about it.
best.
But some people do have a problem with that because they don't want anybody else to outshine them and to make them look bad or have a newer car than them or have a better record than them or have a better store, better shoes, whatever. It's just, it sucks that we're in that mindset. And maybe it's because we're out in LA and everybody always has to one up each other. But that has to change because we're never going to truly make it as a culture. We're never, going to unify to do so.
That's
It
true.
sucks.
That's true. There's a lot of truth to that.
Fuck you, dog. Fuck you, dog.
So what I'm saying, Joe, is hire more Latino
Yo.
stage fucking builders.
No, you know what? I fuck with you, LR. I fuck with you. I really do. I really do. Fucking,
Facts.
dog.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I've been saying that for a long time.
Well, shit. I have some business ventures that I want to put forward in 2019, and I was talking to my cousin about it, and the first thing he said was, "Hey, dog, make sure you hire some of our people." And I was like, "Why wouldn't I? Like, that was a no-brainer." But I understand where he was coming from, on the political sense.
I attribute it partially to the generation before me
Yeah.
and my generation, because there's the whole thing about people in my age range,
Mhm.
as opposed to your guys's.
Well, we're not
The
that
whole
younger than you.
millennial, zennial.
There's a slight.
Yeah.
He's born just
Nah,
before.
I get it.
Okay, it's placed me right before, and for the longest time, I'm like, I never related to millennial,
Yeah, I don't think
but
I
I
can
didn't
truly either.
generate to my brother. Like my brother Paul,
How old is he?
he's trash.
He's older.
Hey,
He's not trash.
take it easy.
All right,
But
we got
he's,
the jackass of the week, brother Paul.
He's definitely generation
He's older or younger?
He's older.
X.
Oh, okay.
Older. Yeah,
X.
he's Generation
Gen
X.
X.
What is
He-
that? The motherfuckers that go under the table when they hear
But
nuclear?
no, but he's
Yeah. And there was the dudes when like NWO was coming out, like on fucking
Yeah,
the World Wrestling
and the-
Federation.
brother.
but he's
Generation
definitely from
X.
different generation that I
Uh-huh.
can't relate to. But
He grew
I
up
can't
with
fully
like
relate to you guys
Uh-huh.
because there's specific things that you guys went through that I didn't go through.
Genuine
Right.
was his Justin Timberlake.
Yes,
Genuine was cool.
but he
And
wasn't your
we still like
Justin
Genuine, but he
Timberlake.
wasn't your Justin Timberlake.
You don't remember
Justin Timberlake
Genuine.
isn't even my Justin
Okay,
Timberlake.
but okay, but
Charlie Puth, huh? Charlie Puth.
But
'Cause
I
that's the new
remember
one.
Genuine completely different than what you guys remember Genuine. So
Yeah.
then Genuine falls in my.
It's like
What the
music soul
fuck are
child.
we
People
talking
don't
about?
even. People don't even. So we're talking about generational
music soul challenge.
Latinos trying to help each other more, and
guys.
you blame it on the older generations.
Yeah, so there's a slight gap, but it's enough to influence a different direction.
I get it.
And what I'm saying in regards to what we were talking about
Yeah.
is that even though I can't completely agree to some of the ideas that you've presented, I can agree to most of them.
I get it.
He said, I guess what I'm trying to say is that you're right, but not all the way. And I just wanted to let you know.
I respect it. I get it.
No,
my point is
Fuck
that,
up, Philip.
my point is that it's a different time.
No, it is.
In social media, like you said at the beginning, where we have the capability to reach everybody practically. I mean, who doesn't have a cell phone? Who doesn't have a computer or iPad? Straight up.
And that's
what I was trying to say earlier.
that
people are
is the
attached on their
stark
wrist.
difference
Yeah.
between you guys and myself.
True.
Joe didn't have all that.
Of
that
course.
mine-
Yeah. You had word of mouth. You had.
Yeah.
They had a two-way, dude.
Right before
I get it,
I
I
was
get it.
right before that placement
Right.
to where you could say, "Fucking send it to me on such and such. Send it to me on such and such."
They
Right.
still
To
had to
me,
walk up and ask girls for their
I would
phone
have
numbers
to- See,
instead
to
of their
me- for me,
Instagrams.
I would have to
Or the
create a
kick.
fucking link address,
Yeah.
and then you have to send it to that link address
Yeah.
for me to receive the shit.
I
You
get
know,
that. Yeah.
with
No,
you guys, it's more
I'm
like
familiar
shoot,
with it. You can
send that
instantly
shit to me,
send it.
boom.
Yeah.
and it's done.
Yeah, but you know what? That's the era you were in that were
It is.
motherfuckers were
It is.
hustling out of the trunk, making the most money too on their records, on their albums. Because
I'm not gonna lie, because No Limit was the lick.
yeah, and they
In
were
my
they were
time,
trapping,
No
dude.
Limit Records was the Trap City.
Exactly, and
Like-
that's that can't be matched or touched because
It
that's
can't.
just
It can't.
That's a
No,
good
I agree
landmark.
with you. I agree with you.
now it's like
Wholeheartedly.
Tell that to the dudes on Hollywood Boulevard and the Madison Square Garden, dude, and all those
No,
areas.
but
giving
then you
mixtapes
see
out.
guys like 6ix9ine
what
were
about-
trying to do that same thing.
just
what,
on a digital
singles?
scale.
Or on a single scale, $1.99 scale or so.
Yeah,
But, I mean, who-
in their respect? Yeah, yes.
I feel like there's for 6ix9ine's case, him marketing his music. I mean, $2 is not a lot of money to spend on a record.
it
It
is.
really isn't. We spend
$5 on coffee,
I mean, we spend instantaneously without thinking about it. You know.
and
We
yet
fucking pay our Hulu,
Uh-huh.
our Netflix, our fucking Spotify, our fucking Apple Music subscriptions
Mhm.
without even thinking about it.
What the thing about
It's
the-
already it automatically happens
without ever once paying
to the
the
point
artist.
we don't even think about the $8.99 that we're spending
That's because
on
we,
any one of these services.
we are truly in a subscription time. You know, where
Yes.
everybody's moving over to subscriptions because it's guaranteed money.
You guys want to
Dude.
subscribe to my to my life for $10.99 a month?
I mean,
Hey, wait.
I'll turn my channel on for you.
What do you have to offer?
Philosophy, reviews on books in general.
Nah.
no,
What do you
man.
have to offer?
Oh,
See? What's your fucking content?
uh-huh.
yeah.
What's the deeper content that you're gonna offer me who fucking can't pay attention to a screen for 10 minutes?
You're
Right.
gonna offer
See,
variety.
that's where the
variety. That's what you're gonna offer.
That's what you want to offer.
And then you're gonna
Variety.
and then in variety you're gonna offer more incentives. Pay a little bit extra to get commercial free. Pay a little bit extra to watch this movie before it comes out. 2 days.
We just did this skit. This might become its own thing. Pay a little extra to watch that own thing, the first episode
Uh-huh.
of that one thing.
Mhm.
it's a way to
It's
hook you on and then
crazy.
keep it going. You know what I mean?
It's
because
crazy. We're becoming a society of add-ons.
well,
Yeah.
subscription
We're
society. Yeah.
dude.
Same shit. Yeah.
Like I said, I'm a
Uh-huh.
fucking consumer.
Yeah.
I have at least
4 or
5 or
subscriptions.
6 subscriptions to
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Dollar Shave Club, Hulu, Netflix,
Yeah.
fucking View.
Okay.
Dude,
PlayStation.
They
maybe?
they
PlayStation
basically
Plus.
dude, they place the you know those matrix cords. They place one
Wikipedia.
onto your arm or your
Dude,
head,
I fucking legit have
and they're
that.
just
Say
draining
Wikipedia?
your life force.
I fucking
Yeah, but Wikipedia is a subscription
I fucking donate to Wikipedia every month.
what?
Yeah, me too. Though I do,
for
I
what?
do.
For what?
so that we have
For-
access to free
for what they
knowledge.
provide us.
For free knowledge.
People used to have to buy encyclopedias. Without Wikipedia, there would be no Google the way there is
So,
Google.
because you guys could contribute, do you guys get to edit it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but anybody can edit it.
Oh, okay.
We're
okay.
paying so that everybody has access to the information.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
you.
It's like $2-3, dude, a year.
It's nothing.
That's all you contribute to $3 a year.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
It's
interesting.
nothing, dude.
Huh.
It's worth it to me because I
I'd
know
rather
when I
spend
get stuck
$2
on
Tekashi song.
I know when I get stuck on something.
Yeah,
I
I'd rather
Wikipedia,
fucking pay
dude.
Wikipedia.
I
Give me
Google
the
that
answer.
shit. Ask Siri.
Dude.
And Siri accesses all that information from Wikipedia.
When
you
you
pay
look
for?
something up,
Yeah,
when you look something up, and Siri gives you the answer,
yeah.
she probably checked Wikipedia.
She's like sucker.
She's like, according to Wikipedia,
She does say that.
you're a bitch.
And what's funny is that
Facts.
nobody forced us to do it.
Yeah.
We do it
you
just
know.
because we like the fact that there's free exchange of information.
Right. That's cool.
And that's a
I didn't
whole
even know you
part
could
of the
donate
world.
to
That,
that.
yeah,
Fucking
yeah.
to me.
And like, I would rather donate that than to the Red Cross because the Red Cross truly actually doesn't actually do the work that they said does.
Well, it's not that they don't truly do the work that they say they do. It's just that people, when they have hurricane and stuff like that, relief is it's a business model where they're designed to capitalize off the majority and spend, like, let's say they take 70-cent profit and then they take 30 cents to actually
Yeah,
put
sure.
it towards the relief. It's just a money thing.
Sure.
You could do it on your own after an earthquake
I
happens.
thought that's what he's saying. Don't support.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
business.
So I agree to that. Completely
it's all about
100%
money.
agree to that.
Yeah.
It's all about money. And that's why I think it's interesting that there's still people in the world who would donate to a cause like Wikipedia in general, even though they don't have to. And it's not for an earthquake or anything. It's literally just to.
the literal
in anticipation of the next tragedy.
Huh?
the literal meaning behind everything is that you have your credit card in your wallet and you never have to really see the money subtracting from your account
Sure.
physically.
Dude,
That you'll spend it subconsciously
tell me
or
about it.
unconsciously.
I've tried to budget myself where I pull out cash only
Yeah.
and then keep it in my so as I'm spending, I see what I'm doing away with. I end up not wanting to buy shit at all. But then
Right.
when the minute I get over it, I'm like, fuck, I'm just gonna use my card. It's just easier because I gotta go all the way to get my money. When I use my card, bro, I look at my bank account. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute.
It's
How did this
addictive.
happen?
It's but if
Because you don't see any physical changes, and if you don't
No.
see those, and you happen to be a person who needs to see physical changes to
Yeah,
see
I have-
limits,
I'm not gonna lie, I have money in my pocket and I'm a Jew
Really?
when it
How
comes to
much?
spending it. I'm just saying though, I'm like
he's
I'm
got
slow with that,
Jewish
but-
money. He
but
said,
if I have my card, okay, here, run it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I like to have money. I like to have it. You know, so
And we come from a generation that came up with cards instead of money.
came up with cash instead of cards. You mean?
I hate myself
What?
because I'm the guy who knows how much money I have, so I spend knowing
Exactly
have
how
that
I,
money.
yeah.
I
So I spend frivolously. Like if I know I can afford it,
Like, I'll get it.
I'll fucking get it.
Spend like
Because
a
I know
white man.
Next week, I'm gonna get paid that times 3.
Like, you know it's coming. See,
that's
and
bad, though.
man,
That's a bad habit.
It
since I,
is. It
dude,
is, dude, I fucking hate it.
For me,
dude,
I've learned to discipline myself. I used to be like that, but to discipline myself to, okay, I could wait 2 or 3 weeks to make my profits out of something, and then I could use that. I'll just wait. I'll wait it out instead of buying that TV this week and then being broke for the week till next week.
Like,
I
I
mean,
hate it.
I use
I
my
know-
compound interest to really buy what I need and reinvest.
I see. I know I'm not. I've done some investments. I've done this and that, but
Yeah.
I know that I'm not gonna waste. I'm not gonna spend more money than I know that I actually have.
Okay.
So I'm the type of guy that'll frivolously spend
Yeah.
it because I know I have it.
No, yeah, but
I
that's
fucking
just
hate it,
bad.
dude.
It's just a bad habit.
Because it has. It
Yeah.
has. It's
It's
been
never
so
ending
bad for
really
me.
until you get hit with a bad week or you get sick and don't go to work or something happens and you can't make money for a week or two and then you're like, damn, what the fuck did I do? You know what I
I
mean?
get fucking pissed if I don't recoup
Exactly.
the money that I thought I was gonna recoup.
But it's
I'm stupid, dude.
it's a mouse wheel for
Oh.
everybody.
I'm
Everybody's like
fucking
that.
Stupid.
It's not that you're stupid, you're programmed. That's a different.
it's habitual.
with that.
It's
Okay.
habitual.
Yeah.
And
It's
we are
habitual.
programmed technically.
Yeah. No, you're right.
By
You're right. I fuck with
Everything
that.
we see, you know, is programming us.
What do you
unconsciously.
mean? Like this isn't real?
What I think they were mentioning in that podcast with Tesla and
yeah,
Joe Rogan.
yeah,
Same
Joe
shit,
Rogan
right?
and Elon Musk. Yeah.
I mean, I believe that anyways from the beginning. Before I heard that, but it's true. We are programmed.
He said, "I've been on that. Where you guys been at?"
I'm glad somebody said it
trash
on a
ass
larger
thing.
scale.
yeah.
I would
yeah.
look like a crazy person saying it, but now I can say it because he said it.
There's something to be said about
Openly.
that because Aristotle used to be the guy that everybody looked up to,
Uh-huh.
and Aristotle was, told everybody that if you drop a bowling ball from the top of a building it falls at the same weight as if it would have fell from here from the floor. But we all know that that it doesn't gain weight. But what he wasn't calculating was like acceleration and whatever. Anyways, scientifically, it was proven way later that he was wrong, and that even a feather so a bowling ball and a penny both falling from the sky could build up some incredible fucking mass. Might even
killed
equal
by a penny.
Yeah.
A bullet.
But back then, Aristotle said that was impossible because
So did he
the penny's
openly
small.
say that he was wrong?
No, he said
He's
said-
definitely wrong.
He was saying that bowling ball, no matter what, would be heavier than the
I'm
penny.
saying, but did he admit to him
No,
being
he
wrong?
died
He was
before that
dead
happened.
before that could be proven
that's-
otherwise.
That's probably the best way to go out.
On top,
I ain't fucking wrong. I'll kill myself.
I actually, there was a weird Thanksgiving. I don't know what happened. I was by myself. I was like living somewhere in LA. It wasn't a weird time in my life. And then a friend of mine invited me over instead. And when I was there, and more than likely it was just me being away from everybody as usual. And so I went to this dude's house and like, he had friends. He's like a dude who doesn't have family. So it was one of those things, but one of his roommates it's funny. It's just, he had a cheesecake recipe that he's tried to get from his dad for years.
Yeah.
And his dad went out he ended up passing away, but they asked him like, what's up with the cheesecake recipe? And he was like, I'm going to die with it. Like legit
What
just
the fuck?
died with his cheesecake recipe, dude.
That
Like,
bastard.
what the fuck?
Damn you,
Piece of
cheesecake.
shit.
How could you be so
Selfish.
And that's what's
More than me.
amazing. That
Go to
his
hell,
children,
nigga. Hope you go to hell.
that his children and anyone who tasted his cheesecake before he died
will never have his
will
cheesecake?
That
be
cheesecake
the
make
last
you slap
ones
your
to
mama.
ever remember that cheesecake.
That's crazy.
And then after that cheesecake doesn't exist
Like
anymore.
someone who didn't want legacy. That's what that is,
Who doesn't want legacy?
dude.
I know I goddamn do.
I got the
Yeah.
legacy. That's Atlanta.
That's the other thing that's fucked up with millennials and our culture now is that everybody forgets about their traditions and their
No,
family
ownership.
traditions,
Yeah.
and
No ownership.
they don't give a fuck about it because it's old or it's played out. It's not cool, but there is no structure going forward. You have regular fuckboys and fuckboy junior now, straight up.
Straight up.
And who knows what's gonna happen after that? We're turning into the Idiocracy movie. It's little by little.
God damn it.
Most people haven't even seen
what
that
the
movie.
plans
That's,
were.
They
that's how
should,
crazy
man. They
that
should
is.
fucking-
Yeah.
Plans
It's a-
grave, my guy. It's
That
It,
shit
it
fucking-
actually looks
Right.
just like the world we live in today.
It's almost there, bro. Rotten Tomatoes, hopefully at
for
99.
sure it will be.
Dude, President Camacho with the fucking teleprompter. Shit. Damn. Fuck.
Big ass drink.
Yeah.
It fucking will be.
Look, I know shit's bad, but we got this guy not sure. And he's going to fix everything
That sounds like
in 3 days.
That's
The-
where we're headed.
The
unfortunately.
economy.
Well, don't we have Kanye West and Trump battling out in 2020 and Oprah maybe?
That's ridiculous.
No, they're gonna battle out. They can't battle out.
Is it 2020? Is it Kanye running in 2020?
You can't.
Yo, isn't Bernie Sanders going to run in 2020
That
again
nigga
too?
might be dead by then. That's, we're gonna really feel the burn when he dies.
First of all,
Kanye can't run in 2020.
I thought it was no. When is he
No.
running?
we
Yeah.
are a
If he were
grassroots
to run, it'd be
movement.
2024.
Okay, so the next term. So technically, shit. I've been saying
If
this, and,
Kanye were to run Republican,
and he will because more than likely, I fucking hate to say it, and I want to be right about it, but more than likely, Trump's gonna win the second term.
you think he will? You think he'll win a second term?
Well, fucking Bush won the second term, and we didn't want him to be there. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah.
Obama won the second term.
There's
we
a
kinda did want
lot
him to be there.
less people that are fans of his policy today. And I
Who?
think what most people are scared of beyond
Trump,
Trump's policy is really people are scared of his rhetoric.
But he's gonna win again. I fucking hate it.
I'm not going to rule out the possibility as like a non-possibility, but I will say that I think that ironically, there's a lot of young people who suddenly got involved in politics because of that.
You know that doesn't
Like
matter.
for office,
Yeah, but
local
He's a
office, where
popular-
it does matter.
popular candidate. Who's going against him? Right? I haven't even heard anybody announce. that
Like,
they're
I'm not
going
even
against him.
worried.
Going against him.
Who?
Not yet.
No, I'm saying, but we should already been
No.
heard about it. Who's
It
going to
wouldn't-
plan
no.
to go against him?
It
Because we're in the
wouldn't happen
midterms right now.
It wouldn't happen until after the midterms. So January we'd start hearing.
We'll start hearing random people like Oprah.
January we'll start hearing people.
The
who
stuff
wanna
that will
run against
directly
him.
affect us here, though, like how much food we have on our plates, how
Right.
much our rent costs, like direct effects are in this midterm election.
I understand that.
And like those are the people that we should discuss and know the names of, like Gil Cedillo in Highland Park, who I intend to speak with as soon as possible. Like these people are the people that we should know about.
It's all fucked up because I'm not gonna rule out that there's bad political people in the small districts, but majority of these people want to be mini Trumps and they want to make the most money that they can from the dispensary or from the city doing this to that and leaning on this. There's no everybody's out for themselves. It's like a real Wild West out here. So you may have a handful of good people, but they're not gonna overpower the real intent. So I think that just builds all the way up to the top.
And my friend, yet in a dark room, a candle will burn bright. Yeah. We can't lose hope, man.
I know. There is just as much good in the world as there is bad, but it's just unfortunate that there's more publicity on the bad.
Of course. Well, there's like that old saying that says, once I did good, that I heard never. No, twice I did good, that I heard never. Once I did bad, and that I heard ever.
Well, that's who said that?
That's some fucking roomie, I think it was.
That's a fucking see, but that's a hard truth. That's a hard truth.
You'll do something dope and people will be like, oh, thanks, and that's it. But if you do something bad, people will never let you fucking live it down.
They won't.
No matter how much good you've done in the world.
True that. Look at Steve Harvey.
He grew out his beard and now everybody's mad at him.
Look at Bill Cosby.
Bill Cosby too. Yeah, true that.
Louis C.K.
What'd he do?
He's about to bounce back.
I'm a fan of Louis C.K. It's just hard to defend somebody who invites girls over to the crib, even if you're famous, and be like, hey, I'm going to take my dick out. And they're like, don't do that. Then he takes his dick out and starts beating off. And I'm a fan of him.
Wow, that, bro.
And then the girls were like, well, shit, it's Louis C.K. though. Like, I don't want to go around. You know?
It takes a special type of woman to date a Louis C.K. though, bro. That nigga.
It takes a special, yes.
Yeah. Special. He's probably desperate, bro.
And that's the argument that other people are making. And that's the argument that other people are making. Like, oh, what did the girl expect if he invited her back to the place? That's the argument that's always made. But then women will always counter and say, well, how are we supposed to live in a world where just every time a man invites us somewhere, we have to sit there and just assume that they want to fuck us, so we don't go at all?
Well, if he's invited,
and like
to
if that's the reality, shouldn't we be changing that and making it more illegal?
No, I'm saying
that's their argument. You know,
if they're invited to a private place, that assumption better be arise.
Sure. So the question should always be, hey, I just want to make sure we're not trying to do anything sexual.
That's a mood killer. I'll take her home, bro. But like, nah, you know what? I got to work tomorrow. You could go home.
But that's what I'm saying, and that's the argument right now that people are dealing with is this hypersexualized world that we live in, and it's true. Like, it's hard. I'm not gonna lie. It's hard for me to have friends that are girls. Because without starting to assume that, I can admit that as a man.
The what?
That if a girl wants to start hanging out with me, like I might easily assume, even if she's being cool, that I might I don't know, is there a chance? You know what I mean? Like the thing is, I don't want to say that women rule that out either, but it is true. Like if you're gonna go with someone less attractive than you and they're calling you at late hours and they're like, hey, come hang out with me at night, and like whatever, does that give them a right to whip it out? No. Does that give you a right to assume that it might not be the best decision to make? Yes.
You have to shoot your shot, though. Maybe not a full whip out, maybe a half whip out.
It's hard. It's hard.
When do you know whether or not to shoot your shot?
Also,
you should know. I mean, if the vibe is right, especially if you're together in the private, why wouldn't you know? I mean,
that's true.
Nobody's going to distract you. Nobody's going to...
the girls are making it sound like they walked in the door, and as soon as they walked in, Louis C.K. whipped it out and was like, "Rah, bitch!" You know what I mean? But maybe that's the case. And if not, and if you're there,
let me tell you something too, man. And I know this from previous experience, and I think Joe could vouch for me on it. There's a difference in a girl and a woman and how they act with you in private or in general. The girl will have her phone with her. The woman will put that shit down her way and not even look at it, bro. She's hanging out with you straight up.
That's true.
You know, there's too many distractions on the younger girls.
That's true. That's true.
As far as when to know to shoot your shot.
Hey, wait, why wasn't I included in the people who know that? Never mind. Let's just skip that.
You know.
I play it if you know.
Listen, man, I'm not saying that you don't know. I was just saying if you know, then you know. I get you.
I mean, that's why we're boys and we put each other on game.
That's true. That's true.
Like my homie yesterday said, he's a black dude. He said, "Don't touch their hair."
He said, "Don't touch
Just don't
the
touch
hair."
the hair. Rule number 1: date a black girl. Don't touch the hair.
He said, "If you're dating a black girl, just don't ever
That's game
touch her
right
hair."
there, bro.
I like touching girls' hairs though, like because girls be touching my hair too. We be touching hair, and that's usually how it starts.
Touch pubic hair.
Yeah, that's how it starts, dude. In fact, that's my kiss test. That's my kiss test. If
your
a
kiss
gr-
test?
yeah, if a girl lets me touch her hair,
Which hair?
right here.
Kiss test.
If a girl lets me touch her hair like this,
Sound like a
it's safe to
probation.
assume that she'll let me kiss her, at least to try.
Really?
That's my kiss test.
Fuck?
Because what I do is like we're hanging out or whatever. If we're kind of close, I'll look at her first. I'll let her know that I'm paying attention to her. She realizes that. I'll reach a hand over and I'll fix her hair. And if she lets me do that, then I know I can kiss her. And 90% of the time it's true. I mean, there's always gonna be that percentage, you know. But then I know whether or not I'm like, oh, okay. And then from there, it's called full body listening. You know, like you really pay attention. Like you'll test a few places, and every time you'll be communicating as much as possible. You're moving around, whether or not it's okay. And as you find more and more areas that are okay, eventually everything becomes okay. And then it's just a matter of you going, "May I?" at the end,
I think it's that the eye contact is key.
and then it happens.
But eye contact, that's key, bro.
Well, yeah, yes.
From
A lot of that is nonverbal communication.
LR,
what's that?
we're not all Philip, okay? So stop
Not
assuming,
Philip
dog.
Suave. I got you, bro.
His method is tried and true, dog.
He said it's
So,
his method is called touch and feel.
Scratch and
Touch-
sniff.
scratch and snip, touch and fill.
You know, I wrote a
Fill
book.
out.
I wrote a book called Salt Sugar that breaks down my method.
Nigga, you've been writing books. You've been popping up on Facebook. I wrote this book. How
I
many
just finished
books have
one
you
book,
wrote?
and I have
How
3
many books have
books.
you wrote?
I have 3 books.
I know you for like 15 years. I didn't even know you wrote a book.
Yeah, dude. I gotta email it to you, man.
I probably
If you're
audio
down.
book, I won't.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking of recording it in audiobook format
Yeah.
because I know a lot of people
I'm not
just
a
won't
reader,
listen
bro.
to it. But I got a podcast and nobody listens to that shit. So what the fuck?
I heard it once.
I heard like 15 seconds, fool.
You put it on my phone. I was like, "What kind of bullshit is it?" I'm like,
No. But look, I for me, it's important that I get this book out in particular that I put out.
I know you guys read.
Yeah,
I don't read.
you don't
I
read at all.
fucking read. I hate reading.
Audiobooks, man. Like, okay, look, there's an app called Scribed.
I have it.
SCRIBD, not ED, but BD. It's like $8, $7 a month, and unlimited audiobooks.
Subscription, nigga.
Yeah, and then Audible, but Audible has higher quality choices, but you can only have 1 book a month. But then
Yeah.
you keep it forever,
Yeah,
so it's worth it,
Like
right?
Voodoo.
Right.
it is.
And so, like coming back to so I've written that book that I want to get into the hands of high school
How
children
long
for
is the
free.
book?
Huh? It's like 80 pages.
Damn.
No, I tried to make it as because it's a kid that's gonna read it.
You're gonna put big letters?
Yeah, it's an easy read. I
Yeah,
tried
put
to make it
pictures in there,
easy for
bro.
kids to read because the kids aren't going to read a fucking manuscript on the last fucking 18 years of my life. No, but so there's that one. Then there's the dating book I call it Salt and Sugar. What it's really just it's more a
That's
communication
a cool
book.
name.
Salt, sugar.
Salt
You
and
know,
sugar?
places to throw sugar, places to throw salt.
No, I know. I get the
Right?
concept for sure.
And then there's another one called Nomics that tries to explain my theories of the universe in general. But that one's a little harder because I got to find like proof and like evidence in order to make it a book I would be confident publishing. But like, it's important, man.
Are you gonna plan to
To
release
leave
those?
our thoughts.
You trying to release those now or later on when you have a different status in life?
No, so the kid book, I just want it to be like whatever. Like if it's worth it, it'll blow up, and at the very least, I can show up and speak on it. Like for me, that's my impact on the world. Hopefully, you don't charge a price for the impact on the world. That happens. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
The reward is in itself. The dating book would be cool, like to make it industrial or whatever. Yeah, that was something that I crafted a while back. I think I only shared it with one girl, my friend Jessica Sherman.
work out?
She's dope. She's dope. She's got a husband and all
Did
that.
you
But
date her?
I needed to hear a girl's perspective on it.
Right.
And then she was like, "Hey, this is dope. You come a long way from a little bastard with smoke and mirrors that would talk shit to me." You know,
Little
she's like,
bastard?
"I might even be responsible because I told you you're all smoke and mirrors, and then you calm down."
She called you a little bastard.
Yeah, well, she can talk to me like that. She's dope.
Some grown woman.
But
words.
coming back to
Little
legacy.
bastard.
Coming back to
Get
legacy.
ahead of yourself, my nigga. Go ahead.
I got you, bro.
Legacy, dude. We all want to leave a legacy, but and you're right. And in a sharing economy, the young generation,
Yeah,
they don't care about it.
Legacy is different with us because we're artists, and that's what we want to leave back as our art as a legacy, our influence on the culture and people influence on history. That's That's more powerful than us.
Yes.
Straight up. But obviously, you want to leave it with your kids and your family that you are growing.
Dude,
But,
it's common. Sorry.
Fucking cut me up. No, I'm playing.
It's common in Jewish families
Yeah.
to leave behind a book that you wrote. So go on. I'll bring it back. Go ahead.
I think our responsibility as young men in society is to really raise our kids when we have them, or if we already do have them, with traditional values, because there is nothing like that on TV or in the world for them. Sucks.
No, you're right.
And
Yeah,
it's our
it's tough.
responsibility to correct that, because we have the responsibility and the opportunity to correct that. Not everybody thinks the same way we do, but we could start enforcing that and making an example out, of ourselves,
There's a father right here. I mean, I'm not a father. You know what?
You're a bastard. No, I'm playing.
You know what I mean? Joe's a father. He of two, a boy and a girl. I mean, these are issues that he weighs in his mind constantly, I'm sure.
Bro, when I'm around my father, it feels like I'm around my homie. My real father.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like there's no fatherly figure there. So it's crazy shit.
Yeah.
I get it.
And I just don't have either a mom or a dad, so I'm like in general, I'm like, well, fuck. I never had. But so and Joe has had them in a way that most people haven't either. And so it gives him a peculiar perspective on what he wants to do. And I know that he's doing things differently even then. Mm-hmm. He's choosing his own style. And I just can't imagine it's easy, man.
Well, yeah, because he has his own beliefs in life, and his views are much different than maybe what his parents or his grandparents were.
I think definitely different.
Yeah. You have to change. You have to adapt with the times too. You can't just have old school thoughts.
And like you said, yeah, even though traditional methods are important, it's also important to understand where things that can be left behind.
Mm-hmm. Definitely that.
Sometimes those carry the strongest, heaviest scars.
Yeah.
The shit that gets left behind.
I think we did good for this episode, because otherwise we're gonna run and fuck around and make 2 episodes in 1 episode.
How long is the episode, bro?
We're going on 3 hours now.
Who's gonna listen to this shit?
No way. Really?
Yeah, we've got 3 hours and 11 minutes.
Wow, that's phenomenal.
So
I wasn't in the whole 3. I was probably the last hour and 11 minutes.
Yeah.
Well,
So
we
they're probably
appreciate
gonna
you
tune
coming out.
But we
LR.
appreciate you coming
Probably
out.
gonna tune into my part only.
Actually, no, we only had 45 minutes recorded before you got here.
Yeah, we did.
What?
Yeah, dude. So you've
No
been,
way.
you've been here for 2 hours, dude.
Really?
I haven't been
Yeah,
before, bro.
dude. Yo,
I'm
test
smoking
me.
this shit. Bro, I've been here in this couple
No
days.
way. Are you sure, Filthy?
Yo, it
I'm a-
says 3 hours, man.
I'm not trying to burn myself, but this person texted me when I got here, so I'll tell you right now.
Damn.
Unless this number here automatically starts at 1 and it went to 3, so that would
Was
be
it
2
Brandon Knight
hours.
or what?
Back at 1,
No, I got here at
like a dream come true.
I texted her when we started at 11:13, so we probably started at 11ish, and it's right now it's 11:49, bro. So
Okay.
I'm about an hour
All
in.
right.
almost. You can still-
So
still
we're
tolerate
working
10
for
more
2
minutes.
hours.
10 more minutes.
You're lying, my guy. You fucking liar.
It does say 3 hours, 12 minutes, 38
Yeah, but
seconds.
is that logic?
Yeah, so it automatically
Logic
adds 1,
does
right?
that, bro.
It adds 1 hour to it.
I don't know, but it just does that.
So this is so hour 2. Okay, fine. 2 hours. There we
Logic's
go.
funny like that.
All right, y'all.
So we're
Well, that's it for our episode. This podcast still
Also,
does
we
not
are
have
cutting?
Well, we cut it. Okay,
3 hours. Well, okay, 2 hours. We're gonna go for the third.
Go another
I'm
10
I'm
minutes.
going wherever we go.
Okay. Oh, so you know who else has this philosophy?
Who?
Scooter Braun, Justin Bieber, Ariana Grande, and Tori Kelly's manager. He says always do one more. He was on an interview with Gary V. Gary Vaynerchuk is like big on social media right now, and they finally got together and they're interviewing. And at the end of they were gonna end it, and then Scooter Braun goes, you know what?
Scooter
Justin
Braun?
Bieber manager Scooter Braun,
Oh, Scooter Braun.
Braun.
Yeah, I think you said LeBron.
He came up in Jermaine Dupri's camp and
Okay.
and then became
Manager?
like a super successful manager from that. He discovered Justin Bieber. He brought him over to Usher. Usher turned him down, and then later Justin Bieber got attention from L.A. Reid, and then all of a sudden Usher was interested. Like the list goes on, right? So Scooter Braun has had a long-standing career,
Yeah.
and so he was like, you know what, Gary, let's take one more call, man. My thing is when I get a feeling and I say one more, it's always going to be something special. He said, I bet you this next caller is going to be something special.
Kinda.
She said, I sales calls, whatever business you're in, always make one more call. One more. Just do one more track, right? One more lyric, whatever, right? And so they take the call, and it turns out that the girl called had gone to LA like just 2 months prior to try to work at Scooter Braun's, because she knew he was going to be interviewed. So everybody was hoping to jump on his questions to work at his company. Right. But she ended up getting mugged and went back to Colorado. Some girl named Jackson, something Jackson, nice girl. And so then Scooter's like, okay, I'm listening. And Gary Vee was like, come on, don't lose it. You've got him here. You've got 15 seconds. Tell him what you want to hear then. And she's like, and I was just hoping that maybe I could ask you if it was all right to internship for you. He's like, we're not really accepting interns right now, but I said that this was going to be a special call. I think it's going to be a special call. I think there's something that you can do. So I'm going to fly you out here and you can come an internship. And Gary Vee's like, don't be cheap, Scooter. Make sure she gets at least, a minimum wage so that she could work for minimum wage. And if you do that, I'm going to fly her over here first to New York. Fuck that. So she can work with me for 1 week. And we're going to train her in the special social media shit that we do. So then she can go and do that for your camp. I'm not going to let you outshine me on my show. And I'm going to buy her a $4,000 car. So she can be in LA to drive around. He's like, Scooter's like, she doesn't need a car. She could Uber. He's like, fuck that. You need a car in LA no matter what.
$4,000?
A $4,000 car. He's like, let it be a rinky dink, but like it'll be an experience.
Huh? You get a decent car for $4,000.
And so you got to know
about $4,000 down payment.
And so what ended up happening was so she got the job. And so like again, like you guys said, let's just run a little bit longer. Maybe there is some magical thing to like just going that extra mile. You know?
We never know.
You never fucking know.
We're about to know.
Well, don't lose any steam now.
Wow. My God. Are you trying to one up me? Huh?
With you taking it there, well,
hey,
goddamn.
What the fuck are you talking about? You're the motherfucking most handsomest nigga I've ever seen. How you feeling today?
Wait, what?
How you feeling today, huh? You see that movie? That shit's funny.
He's getting all nervous about it. Like,
what?
Hey,
I got
a movie called Sorry to Bother You. It's hilarious.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet.
Oh my God.
Is that the one where he's like, hello, you got to use your white voice?
Yeah. Fucking,
I want to see that.
Movie.
I want to see that shit. I haven't seen it yet.
They
But
start arguing. It's like complimenting each other, but in an aggressive way. It was weird as fuck, but funny as fuck.
Danny Glover is in there, right? Danny Glover from Lethal Weapon.
He makes an appearance.
Yeah. Makes an appearance.
Yeah.
He makes an appearance. He's delightfully there. He shows up.
It really is one of those things, man. This kind of medium. I mean, imagine if we okay, look, what if we started documenting with smartphones when we all first met from that time? Like if we had footage of like us hanging out, us at the shows. We didn't really, because people were still using camcorders and shit with cassette tape in it. Like video cameras were still using cassette tape, barely getting digital around the time when we started coming up, like when we would meet at Astro Burger. Or when we would be eating East LA pizza from East LA Pizza Company while we talked about writing lyrics, or Tam's Burgers in East LA, like all those. Like, imagine if we could go back and record those freestyles when you and I and O&E first met, or we did.
What is that movie? Hey, what's that scary movie where the machine makes that noise when he's about to come? He's about to snatch the people. You know what?
Fresh.
Those were good times, and those are times between us, bro. But I have a lot of regret. I got a lot of regret for a lot of wasted time in those times too, and a lot of bad investment with certain people, not everybody.
Dude,
with time investments.
I agree, man.
But it was a learning experience.
When we were in Havasu in Arizona, and I was on
that was
remember,
best time of my life.
Yeah, it was one of the best times of my life, dude. And at the same time, all I could do was remember I was on the pool, like, man, we should be somewhere already in life. Remember, I was all depressed and shit.
Was like, yeah, we should be. What are you celebrating? Like, bro, we're at Havasu, bro.
Yeah, I was like, what are we celebrating for? What have we even accomplished?
It's Labor Day, fool.
And they were like, oh, fuck.
Like, what is this little weirdo thinking you brought on the trip?
Nobody was enjoying my company, man.
Get your man's over here.
Nobody was enjoying my company because I was like, come on, dude, what are we really celebrating?
Half naked bitches, and Philip was on the roof stargazing, talking about the future.
Like, guys, what are we even doing right now?
What is the meaning of life? Why are you looking at bitches with fat asses and bikinis? And wait a minute. And people are like, yes, you finally get it.
You know what? Hey,
wait a minute.
Hey, bro.
And we're not even there. We have no reason to celebrate.
We're artists, though. We're awkward anyways, bro.
Yeah, we were awkward anyways. Yeah.
I understand it, but Yeah, that was a good time. I'd like to do another Havasu trip for sure.
Nah, man. I fucking.
Or Laughlin.
I had a
Cracking.
Havasu part 2 in New York, man. My buddies in the Bronx, they took me out to a yacht party in the Bronx. And
Bronx?
apparently the Bronx people, they just be doing that. Yeah, you go
A
further
yacht?
up, and then there's like a river area,
Oh.
and it connects to City Islands, right?
Mhm.
And so we were out there, and everybody's drinking Nutcracker. You know, it comes in like those little, those little Mexican flavored juices, the little plastic fat bottles, short fat bottles, and then they have like the purple juice. You know what I mean? So those, they fill them up and they put moonshine in them with like Kool-Aid and all kinds of other shit. Like, it's called Nutcracker. Fucks you up, right? It's a New York thing. And so we're out there, and like I'm knowing that I don't like water in general. You know, I don't know how to swim really, so I'm like over here like fuck. But I get on anyways, and like, it's my boy Trav, so I'm like, he works for the YouTube space in New York. So I'm like, all right, cool, we're hanging out, and I'm like, this would be dope. I was hoping a girl was gonna show up, she didn't, and so then I ended up, yeah, I did. She was like, yeah, I'm gonna be there. She just didn't show up, I'm not gonna put her on blast, but I was looking forward to seeing her. I was looking forward to seeing her, and so she didn't show up, and so then I was like, fuck it, well, I'm here anyways. But everybody knows that I'm always sober. Like, I never really do shit, and
So
I told
right
everybody
now-
I wasn't gonna drink.
What about right now?
Yeah, I'm sober. And so I get onto the yacht, and we pull out, and for like a couple hours we're driving around, and we see a bunch of other people in speedboats and like girls in bikinis, and we end up pulling up to a line of yachts, and we all tie up next to each other. We tie all the yachts together. And it's like a line party out in the middle between City Island and the Bronx. And like girls in bikinis start coming from other yachts onto yours to like drink with you and like passing blunts. And it's like, I was like, am I in a fucking music video? What is this? And then
an episode of Entourage.
And then of course, someone pulls up in a big bad Wolf of Wall Street fucking fresh white. They're all wearing fresh white, look like fucking Backstreet Boys music video. They roll up and they come in between us and they tie up next to us, and all the girls go to that one fucking thing. And I'm glad I was sober. I was like, well, I can't be mad because I'm sober, and I saw what happened. But all the other guys were just confused as to why it was just yeah. Oh wow.
Like, why is she being mean to us?
I was trying to
Time will tell.
name drop my lyrics.
Tipped out.
But yeah, man, I've never been one for being able to celebrate. That's true. I've had house interventions trying to tell me why I act the way I do.
Well, maybe you're not truly happy, dog.
I'm not.
I mean,
But it's also because I question, like, is happiness really the question of life? When did happiness become the acceptable answer to the question of what life is supposed to be about?
Overthinker. That's why.
Sure.
You just gotta let loose sometimes, bro. And you'll be a little bit more comfortable.
If that is the goal of life, to have comfort.
The goal of life is to live healthily and prosperously and happily. Why would you live negative?
Sure.
But what's healthily? Because technically,
Well,
wouldn't you be able to live a pretty long time if
how-
even if you're not attached emotionally to somebody?
do people live a long time without like a relationship?
Yeah.
Would you ask me if that's not healthy?
No, isn't that just as healthy as a person who's in an actual relationship?
I was talking about it in the sense that he overthinks stuff to the fact that he doesn't truly let him be himself. I've seen him be himself before. That's why I know his potential. He's like me because I see him as a younger me. I would always be uptight. I would always overthink shit. I would always question myself and things and other people. They'd be like, hey, do you think I should do this? Yeah, you think I should do this? Okay, I'm going to do it. Like, instead of just making my own decisions. I'm not saying that you're doing that. I'm just saying that when you learn to kind of like relax a little bit and just let things flow the way that they need to flow for you, things are a little bit more easier.
You have a lot of truth. There's a lot of truth to that because
Yeah.
the girl I've been hanging out with lately, she kind of pointed it out to me. She was hanging out with me even though I had the work to do because I could work from home. So she was hanging out with me and she was doing her own thing. And at the end of the day, when I finished editing, we started hanging out and I was like, I still have a lot of work I have to do. And she was like, you just spent 8 straight hours in front of a computer. And now when you're not in front of a computer, you're thinking about how wrong it is that you're not in front of a computer right now. She was like, it's really, you should give yourself more credit She's like, you need to stop, like, and I was thinking about it, like when you say that, it's true. It's
What
true.
did I tell you though? Last time I saw you, I said you're not supposed to spend that 8 hours in the front of that computer. You're supposed to pay somebody else to do that 6 or 7 hours for you and just manage that project.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. It's true.
Yeah,
I'm doing self-employment wrong. I am.
But the truth is that even if you do that, that's not guaranteed to give you employment.
Because you still have to go get
Asshole,
clients.
yeah.
Because you still have to get clients, right?
What?
It's not guaranteed. Like for you to say, "Oh, okay, you can penetrate my asshole."
What?
one time.
What?
Wait, what?
That's what I'm saying. For you to say, for the person to say, "Oh, you can penetrate it," it doesn't work.
Wait, Joe, what are you talking about, Joe? If you're using a metaphor, speak plainly, man.
In relation to what exactly?
Because we were talking about business. And you're like, if they,
You care about penetrating assholes, bro.
Joe's like, if they want to put in your,
They want to put in your butt, just I guess.
Just
in your butt, bro. It's up to
just
you.
let them.
Nah, bro.
It's up to you.
I'd rather let somebody else do it for me. You can take
He's
that
like,
pain.
let's just do this right now.
Nah, fam.
There's no talk of penetrating assholes.
Joe's like, if they want.
What the fuck? I don't know about all that, bro. That's wild. I'll tell you, time management is the most important thing. Self-employment, time management, bro.
He's like, let's just get past that situation. No one's penetrating any.
I don't know what kind of Illuminati shit y'all on.
Oh shit!
Then he was like, "Oh, we're not talking about that."
Huh.
Oh, my bad. I thought we were talking about penetrating assholes.
What the fuck? That's wild. I'm glad,
shit, it hurts.
I'm glad we were recording that visually.
Guys,
We're having a deep conversation. Joe's like, all I'm saying is, if they want to put a finger in your ass, let them.
It's gonna get your giddy up. Yeah, wow. Push the start.
Oh, shit.
Wow, player, that's wild.
I've got like a 6-pack of abs from this moment right now, man. Oh, shit. That woke Joe up really. I saw Joe teetering off into La La Land, and then he still jumped into the conversation.
I apologize, Livin Real.
Is your butthole in good hands?
Allstate.
Allstate.
Almost state.
You know what? That's why we needed to keep the podcast running for one more. For that moment.
Come on. Get it together, LR.
Oh, it's wild.
And we're doing this completely sober. We promise.
Huh.
Oh,
I'm
man.
definitely not sober. I am inebriated for sure.
It's on weed.
It's all dweeds, man.
That's some weed.
Or dweeds.
Wrong bag, man.
Hey, this was a real insightful conversation, LR.
Yeah,
Yes,
man.
sir.
You
The
brought up
beginning
some real good
portion of
points,
it,
man.
You did. You
We should make this a regular thing,
you
man.
have brought up you brought up a
You
gang of
started
really good points.
Not yet. So I guess we'll cut it here. It was good. Thank you guys for tuning in.
We're done. Okay, guys. Yeah.
We'll
Like
leave the
Billy
light on for
said,
you.
thanks for tuning in.
We just
Like
living our
LR
lives,
said,
right?
we will leave the light on for you. We want to make sure you don't get lost. And we love you.